Lord, I just gonna put
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We are live from Grenada and Antigua and the UK. This is BWTM Online. I have with me in the room
He wasn't hearing me.
the political leader for Grenada Empowerment Movement, Mr. Earl Maitland. Good evening.
Good evening, my brother.
Master Melvin Coutain. How are we doing, Melvin?
Great. I'm struggling trying to keep up with the change of life. I work pretty hard and everything right now. We're living in the new world.
Melvin, have you lost about 6 inches or 8 inches? Because
no,
you're going further and further down the street.
Yes, because somebody want their phone, and you're not hearing any good. Yeah,
But don't talk so loud, then.
Lord, here we go down. I put on weight with the race, the rest I'm getting. To hit the road and with everything around, you have to detox yourself, step back into a cave, think, and this is in the mood I am right now, and choose now how to come out. Because there's so much negative around, also positive. So now you have to choose your channel. We're not getting younger, we're getting older. This is the mood I'm in right now. Because there's so much help, and we continue going deeper into a dark hole right now. And nobody's talking about it. Because presently the buses right now across here, Earl, the buses, I think I talk to the president, the buses and them have they only go slow because from how much weeks now the buses shut and they may not pay the bank. People need to go to work, so you open up the country, and then to get a bus, the buses want to raise the bus fare. People lost their job, and then cost of living is high as them bomb Iraq. So your income and what you're putting out, and that been going on with us for the past 20 years. We just keep on giving, and others just taking, and there's lawsuit up and lawsuit, and courthouse up and courthouse, and then money just stinging. So people are drained, and then this COVID come and hit right now again. People need to think out, because you have people, your kids need to eat. You need a home to live in. You don't have water in the pipe. You need to pay electricity bill. So your standard of living has diminished to zero right now. So it's really tough. It's really tough for some persons. I'm not talking on myself, because if it is tough on others, it's going to affect me. It's going to affect you. And then to travel now, if a plane ticket is $1, the plane ticket is going to jack up to $2 or $3 because you have to stay 6 feet apart. So we really need some strong leaders right now to talk out where they are. Because all the leaders, prime ministers, join together with WTO to put us in this position.
Ingram, could we share on Facebook Live as well? So instead of link,
I can't do it with this particular stream.
Okay, because what is happening? It basically just showing a picture. It's not showing the actual video.
It's streamed now. It is live now on YouTube.
It's live, but it doesn't appear to be live when you post Facebook.
It's live now, though.
Yeah.
We're live now.
Okay.
Yes.
What happens is normally more attractive when they could actually see that it's live instead of just seeing the link. I tried sharing it on the page itself, but we're not actually seeing the video.
But it is live. I can assure you, it's live. It's live now.
Yeah.
If they click on the link now, it's live. There's no picture. It's live.
Yes. I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. The topic of discussion this evening, as we've put, is racism, police brutality, and not just in Grenada, but across the world, recent events have caused further distress to the black community. And the question now has to be asked, what next? More picketing, more asking please and thank you, more begging, more people getting on shows to ask for justice? Or is this the time that we need to take justice into our own hands? Earl,
Yes.
I will start with this.
Yes. A pleasant good afternoon to Ingram, to Master Melvin Coutain, to the viewers, to the persons who would eventually have a look at this video. First, we need to dissect what racism really is. Now, and to make it easier, right? I'll just give a quick breakdown of what it is. Now, racism basically is someone being prejudiced according to their skin color, right? That's the simplest way that I can put it. Now, my interpretation of that, right, means that we could have black people being racist against other black people. We could have white people racist against blacks, blacks against whites, whites against whites, whatever the situation is. That's my humble understanding of what racism is. Now, we have seen most recently what has occurred in Minnesota, which is very, it's heart-wrenching to see that a gentleman was pinned on the ground for approximately 10 minutes by a white police officer who decided to put a knee in his neck and stop him from breathing whilst he was begging, pleading for his life. I remember him saying that his neck hurts, his stomach hurts, everything hurts, and he's begging for some water, at least to drink. The persons I was standing by was not only a black civilian, right? There was also a white lady who said that she was also an EMT, I believe, possibly from a different state. We saw that on the camera. We saw where this white lady came and tried to assist, right, the black gentleman that was there when the video had turned briefly to put her in the camera's view, right? She did speak up. She did speak up. There was the gentleman that was there that also spoke up as well. Unfortunately enough, the 4 officers that were there, they did nothing to ensure that this man survived. They were even told that there was blood coming out of Floyd is the gentleman's name. They were told that blood was coming out of Floyd's nose or mouth. But they continued, right? They continued pressing on him. What could have happened, seeing that he was handcuffed, he was unarmed, he was not resisting? They could have just simply put him in the police cruiser and left. So I am wondering why is it that they were allowed to do exactly what they did? Why did they choose to pin this man to the ground instead of putting him into the police cruiser and bringing him to the jail or the police station to be charged? Initially, based on what we are told by the media, he was arrested, detained because a store owner called the police and said that he most likely had written a bad check. Now, this is not the first time that we have heard a black man saying that he cannot breathe.
And it won't be the last.
Right? And it would not be the last.
So, you know why?
It would not be the last unless
you know why? Because,
right?
First of all, it has become normal for a black man or black woman to be killed. Now it has become the norm. It has become normal, a part of life. It has become acceptable. It has become okay. Not for those who's been affected, but by those who allow it. It has become acceptable. And it, in some ways, has become acceptable for us. Why has it become acceptable for us? I'll explain. When something is unacceptable, there's an action that comes with it, or a reaction. How many people does it take? How many people of color does it take before there's a result? How many times are we going to be bullied before we say, stop, this is unacceptable, you take a life, we take a life? No more of this going and picking or getting on TV stations and asking for justice. I want to go back to what you said to me about racism. Now, racism, in my humble opinion, is only effective by those who have the power to change law, right? Now, these, I'm not going to call them white people. I'm going to call them demons, because that's what it is. They're demons. They're sick, right? Because not all white people are like this, and not all black people are like this. There's a sickness within these demons, and that's what it is. It's demonic behavior. It is a sick behavior. It's a twisted behavior, and it roots at racism. And at the end of it, you cannot change it unless you get those racists in the position that they're in to change the law. And they're not going to change the law because it suits their agenda. Okay? So we have to think differently about this. We have to say to ourselves, you know what? Whether you are a Bible believer or a Christian or non-believer, listen to this for a second. There's one scripture that says, be ye not yoked with unbelievers. And the Christians think, oh, that means I mustn't be yoked with another Christian, a person who's not a Christian. A non-believer is what's killing us. Those people don't believe in us as a people, as a nation. They don't believe in us. But yet we keep putting belief in them. We keep putting this belief and this hope that they're going to change. This belief that they're gonna somehow stop in and welcome us in. We're not welcome. We're not welcome. There's this expression: shake the dust off your feet and keep it moving. Move to a place where you are welcomed. But it still seems that we're going back to these people expecting support, expecting help. We're going to the same people that hate us. We're going to a system that hates us. Why? We're investing into these people. We're investing in their businesses. We're investing in their education. We invest in their ideologies. Across the world, we're investing in their ideologies. We can't think for ourselves. We're too dotish to think for ourselves. Think, hey, hold on a second. These people, if you go to a place and you got a girl that doesn't like you, a girl that doesn't want to know about you, if you've got any pride, you've got any sense, say, you know what? She don't like me. Let me go find myself someone who does like me or someone who does love me. So there's an element of self-hate as well. And even to the point where we are scared or have to curb the way we talk about racism. The way we talk about racism, black and white. We're scared to talk about it because we're scared of the ramifications from the same people that hate us. So we're trying to please the same people that hate us at the same time. And we took a step back and said, look, you know what? They don't like us. They don't care for us. They never have cared for us. Let's forget about this idea of us unifying with these people. The people that look like us that actually want to better their lives. Let's work together to build a new world which the church originally went about being yoked with similar people, similar folk, similar mindsets. Do for self. Take the power away from the government and back with our own people. Build your own bartering system. Build business in people that look like yourselves. The Indian people are doing it. The Chinese are doing it. We're the only ones that don't do it. We're the only ones that don't do it. Oh, yeah, but we have to deal with mental slavery. No, we can keep on repeating it over and over and over again. Or we make the decision that, you know what? That's enough. We're going to cut from this nonsense. We're going to do for self. We're not asking you for anything. We don't want you for anything. We're going to go and do what needs to be done without you. Thank you and goodbye. The other day, the Ghanaian Prime Minister or President turned to the French President and said, or Prime Minister said to him, you know what? More or less, we don't need you anymore. We're going alone. And the guy looked mortified. But we're too scared of the ramifications. But if we all rise up, together, and stop making excuses and stop saying, oh, but what if and how if? Stop asking them questions, but ask, what does it take for us to get from where we are at the moment to building a world where we are working as one together and not having to rely on the rules and regulations that this current universe has got for us? When will we learn? When will we understand that we are not loved, we are not wanted? Let us move on. And I'm talking specifically about this demonic behavior, this sickness. When will we make the change? That's the question I'm asking Earl, Melvin, and those listening tonight.
Well, that change starts with us. That is the reason I'm doing what I does. You know me, I'm Ingram. Let me see, for the past so much. About
2012.
Yeah.
2020. Okay. I think that's 8 years. I know it'd be good enough.
And I've been doing what I'm doing, go way, way back over for the last 30, 40 years of my life. Because I believe in myself, I believe in my people, I believe in the universe just the same way. I don't business whether who like me or who don't like me. I don't do anything to please anybody. I want to learn. People try to push you down, you have to push back. Now, the situation we are in, racism, as I say, I grew up in a community which is a diverse community with all different nationality, and you have to live together. And I would see the Hindu man go down and pray to his God, and then he sit up on his leaf and he eat his meal and they have a wedding and all these different things. And I grew up watching that the same thing with the Islamic, okay, the different culture. The same thing with Hare Krishna, the same thing with Shango, the beating the drums and the blood and all these different things, just because really, see, this religion thing is what create all these things. Okay? Because of that, one feel more dominant than the other, and because of that, they find you multiplying quickly, so you feel threatened by me because I might come and take your daughter, or you don't want your race to mix, and all these other things is happening. And then the rise of people like Obama and others taking up key positions. Obama as a president, for me, I'm sorry, I have no respect for him. He was there as a black president. Did he try to change some of the things in the Constitution of America? What Colin Kaepernick said on kneel down and say he's not respecting the national anthem because it don't honor him as an African person. Because when it was written, we wasn't changed. Okay? This is the things have to change. Now, this guy killed this guy and they fire him. Instead of arresting him immediately on the spot, they fired him and they're allowed to go home. Now, let it was African policeman did that, it would have been the opposite way around. It would have a lot of people coming out with Uzi and bazooka and all these set of military and war tank and all these set of things. Okay, they fired this guy and he gone home. And what you find, I haven't seen Mr. Farrakhan come out yet. All
July, I think June the 5th is coming out.
Pardon?
June the 5th, I think he's got a press conference coming out.
Yes, but we need him now. You need a voice now. The problem is that we don't have leader. You have
Yeah, but that is the problem. Why are we looking for one man to make a difference? We have got to lead within ourselves first. Never mind no leader. Farrakhan's one man.
Yeah.
Farrakhan can't speak for everybody. And even when Farrakhan speaks, there are people within their own nation of Islam that don't damn well even listen to him.
Yeah. No.
It don't make a difference.
We had Malcolm X.
Yeah?
Right. Malcolm X.
Yeah, okay. You could bring every black political leader that you have has been assassinated, and you tell me what's the common denominator of them all. They all got assassinated. They all had black people looking at their coffin afterwards, and they're all singular because they're relying on one man, one Messiah. Okay. Whether it be Muhammad, whether it be Buddha, whether it be Jesus, one Messiah. We need to work as a nation. We need to work together. As a people, not as a person or one leader. You take up one leader, same old nonsense starts again. It has to be collective. There has to be a collective movement. So the idea's got to change. See, the birds are more intelligent than us when the pigeons are flying in the sky, right? Or the seagulls are flying. It's not one bird leading and the others are following. They're all leaders. When one gets tired, the other one follows, and the other one leads. That is leadership. You've got all leaders in the room, as opposed to having one leader and we're all looking at one person. So this idea of one black guy as a messiah, we need to get away from that messiah stuff. We need to stop thinking about leading ourselves to a better tomorrow by setting the seeds now. By saying, no, I don't acknowledge one leader. I have to start doing something for myself.
Yeah,
and eyes are seeing what is really going on around me, who loves me and who hates me. And for those people that love me, let me move towards them. And for those people that hate me, let me have no business to do with them. No more business with them. Pull my money out the bank. No longer go and do business with these people and start investing in our own people. And I don't mean just our own people because of the color of our skin, but the progressive people, progressive hair that understand it and get it. Because not all of us get it. A lot of us still have that mentality of subservient behavior.
That because we have the Bible in the hand and we're waiting for Jesus to come.
Well, no, look, the Bible is a poor excuse because
but this is what is the problem in our community.
I'm talking today, right? And I've just brought you scripturally. Be ye not yoked with unbelievers. We're getting asked what and what because we consider you being yoked with those who don't believe in us. That's scriptural. But
so let me just say, Ingram, Melvin, let me say that I just invited a friend of mine that I met on Facebook. She is American.
Yes.
She's white. She has stood for humanity. Right, she has not taken a side, white or black.
Some white people don't like what's going on.
Huh?
Some white people don't like what's happening. Some of them like we.
Like I said, it's not about color; it's about character.
It's about mindset, right? Since the situation started, when I had her on Facebook, I noticed that she actually has 3 children, and they posted a picture in their jerseys, with the Black Panther sign. We have to remember, and what I want people to remember also, remember when there was the Olympic Games and we had the 2 black men that had on the black gloves, one on each hand, and they stood up, right? The gloves that they were wearing actually came off of the white gentleman's hand. That's why had one side each, and he stood with them, right? So because we are going through what we are going through now,
and all you know that again started in the West Indies.
Say that again.
That the whole Black Panther movements and all this thing. You ever heard about Kwame Ture?
Yes,
no, never heard about that one.
Yeah, all these things West Indians.
Yeah. So you see. Ingram, you look out for her. I sent her the link for the stream here. So you will see if she joins, right? So we could get her.
I'm looking forward to
now, what I would like people to do, right? We cannot deny racism is actually a mental thing. It is a mental thing because we do have persons of all ethnicities. They have stood with us, right? We do have some that have stood against us, right? Now, there's a show on YouTube. There's a show on CBS that is What Would You Do? Y'all ever saw that show? What Would You Do?
Mm.
Now, that show is basically it's based on reality events that occur on a daily basis. Now, the reporter from CBS, they have staged situations, for instance, where they would walk into a restaurant or have a couple that is an interracial couple, black and white couple, sitting in a restaurant, and then they would also have a third actor, and that actor would be acting as though they are racist, just to get the
feelings,
the reactions of the public, and it's filmed. And when we look at that show, What Would You Do? In this time in 2020, even in 2019, the majority of persons that are coming forward are white persons coming to the rescue of others. They staged where they would have some white children. Just 1 second, Melvin. White children with a black babysitter. And persons that the third actor would come out and say, what you doing with this? You kidnap those children and whatever it is. And then you would see other persons coming forward and supporting what is happening, right? So I don't want people to leave the show or to live in a world believing that racism, once you're white, you hate black people, or once you're black, you hate white people.
They are part of the universe. They all are part of the universe. What I want to say,
it's a poison.
A lot of white persons don't know what the foreparents did. Just like us. I love history and I always digging up history. Okay? Because I want to know, because the reason why, since I'm small, I've been discriminated against because you're too black, you're too this, you're too that. I have to live with that. No,
yeah,
but wait to it. The same Black Panther movement. If you do the history of the Black Panther movement, there was a Japanese guy was between them and them, and he fight hard with the Black Panther movement. There's white guys between them. There's Indian guys. So it wasn't just blacks was part of the Black Panther movement. It was a movement deal because there's a time in America, the Chinese and the Japanese and all of them had us face racism just the same way. But they stand up with the blacks and fight. The Jews also stand up and fight with the blacks. So it's not because you see somebody color the skin, you're discriminated. So that person innocent. Okay? You need to know. And that person might be more genuine.
Well,
that one of us, some of the persons that I learned from in life and who help me, always say, is white people.
Yeah, but it's not black and white here, Melvin. It's to do with the content and character of an individual's heart.
Yes.
Not just the color of skin, but the heart. Like I said before at the beginning, the people that are doing this are demonic. They're demons. They're evil. They're not human. They're animals.
Yeah.
And you see, that's the point. That's the point that we need to establish first.
To make people feel uncomfortable.
That's what we need to establish first.
Yeah. You need to talk about the issue.
Because you see, the thing is, the separation continues because persons would want to take out their anger on a person of the same color.
You're not supposed to.
Somebody or a father. Could you blame a child for the actions of the father or a brother for the actions of a sister?
But what? The root of this problem, the root of the problem, or the roots of the problem, through the media that are racist, that promote this stuff. The media is racist. The people, the lawmakers that allow this stuff to go on. How many more, ask yourself the question, how many more lives have to go before there is change? If we carry on this same process of complaining, crying, being upset, protesting, and by the way, how does looting solve the problem?
Thank you. Exactly, because it solves the problem.
That persons using that opportunity in order to did not supporting a guy that lost his life in it, and did not against racism. They see an opportunity to put more goodies in the house. Some see the opportunity to get pregnant because a lot of shit going on right now. But the message, the guy shouting out, he's breathless. They're not some of these persons who looting and burning down. They're adding more to the problem. Because you're gonna burn down that next man place. You expect that man to see you the next day and be comfortable with you. He would not. So that is our next conflict.
It is a ridiculous thing to do. You understand? And based on what I have seen, right? Based on what is happening, you cannot go and want to go and burn a place like that, a place that has nothing to do with the situation. Looking at the video, the first thing that I saw when I woke up this morning was people robbing the store, the Target. They were robbing the store. And not only were they robbing the store, but it was like a normal shopping day. They actually broke into the place and walking around with a cart, picking what they wanted, right? If the intention was just to destroy things, they would not have taken those shoes and clothes.
So wait, hold on. So let me get this right. So one person can take the life of another because they don't like the color of a person's skin. So why can't the people in return retaliate and go and attack them, kill them, and kill their family in retaliation? But would that be considered self-defense?
It would not be self-defense because it didn't happen at the point in time. If it had happened on the street, if it had happened right there and then, when he had him down, it would have been self-defense.
All right. So we use that situation. So police officer comes to me, tries to attack me. I pick up my gun and I shoot him. Bam, dead. What?
That's self-defense. That's self-defense.
But that person will get jailed for it.
But that's okay. That's okay because eventually we have movements in the world that has vindicated many Black persons who have faced injustice when they go into the courts. It would not be the first Black person that would have been wrongfully convicted. Remember, America has the Innocence Project and so on, right? And that's a good thing because it has vindicated many Black persons. So, spent 30 years in prison.
Now it's time to tool everybody up. Every Black person needs to be tooled up, and when they walk the street, as soon as they see a police officer, shoot to kill. Should the order of the day be shoot to kill? If you're innocent, but then again, look, that can be abused because you've got a situation where there are people out there who generally are breaking the law. So
presently, that is happening.
So you see, Ingram, in the eyes of the law, the reason why it would not be self-defense because the crime already happened. We already lost Floyd. We lost Tamir Rice. We lost Eric Garner. We lost all these Black people at the hands of police officers, right?
Hold on. But these are police officers that operate outside of the law. If they're operating outside the law, they are not police officers. They are rogue. And if they're rogue, then they're not within the law and they're not protected by the law. So they should be shot and killed. If they're going to be rogue, then we have to go rogue.
So, but Ingram, remember,
Wait, hold on. Let me ask you a question. Okay. So, if I'm a doctor, and there's a certain code of conduct and sort of practices I've got to do, If I decide to do my own thing, I'm not going to follow what the protocol is. Do my own thing. Use my own injection. Put as much anesthetic in a person. Give you any sort of drug you want. Open you up and leave you open up inside and kill you inside and do that stuff.
Get to like Fungi, Bill Gates.
Be going.
Melvin, remember. Listen to where the disconnect comes in. Remember, there's premeditated murder and there's self-defense.
So wait, so these people are premeditated because before they leave the police station, they already hate Black people.
That is in the real world. This is not in the real world. This was deliberately done.
This was premeditated.
Yes, yes, it was deliberate.
They're rogue before they leave the building. They are rogue.
Did you see the CBS video, the new video that come out on this issue?
No.
You should see that. It's on my Facebook page.
If you look at it, that is the KKK. Wait, it's the KKK operating in police gear. That's what it is.
The reason the guy could not breathe, one of the police officer was lying down on his chest. This next man, this year is a Jock Levine. The man was kneeling down here. So oxygen, blood run up here, and oxygen come down here. The man
okay, listen to this. Huh?
That's not gonna. That is not gonna solve the problem, is it?
Ingram, hear this, huh? Melvin, just answer this one question. Now, how could you protect a life that has already been lost, right? It cannot be seen as self-defense for Floyd because Floyd is already dead. So what they're doing now is not self-defense. If they had done it at the moment where he was alive and he was taking his last breaths, where these monsters, they basically stifled him to death, right? And everything. If at the time they acted, it would have been self-defense because he was alive. You were protecting the life of this gentleman.
Not just that, they handcuffed the guy. The guy had a handcuffing.
Yes, he did. And you see the problem, I believe, what the problem is, we act too many times after the fact, right? Too many times we act after the fact. Now, what has happened this morning with burning down the places, with the looting, with even attacking each other? There was a video, a guy was doing a live, and he was himself attacked by a black lady who was wearing a mask because he told her that he doesn't believe that she should be looted because it's defeating the purpose of why they were there. And she, in turn, attacked him, right? What they're actually doing is counterproductive. It's counterproductive. Personally speaking, I would have understood if they went to the police station and they burned the police station. I would have understood that. So a store, Melbourne, Target, and to break the windows of that store and delis and loot, take shoes and clothes and lamps, right? Lamps and bed sheets and so on, and go home.
Because Floyd was a peaceful guy, yeah?
It defeats the purpose.
Floyd was a peaceful guy, and he was against that. If you listen to some of his motivational speech, he's against that. What them did then? Yeah, he's against that. What they should have done is to run the police station, make a circle around the police station, and ask for justice.
So let me say something also to pleasant afternoon to Frank White, right? Now, what is happening now, Melvin? Right, based on what is happening, the masses shot and killed at this point in time, right? The police could use what is happening to justify what they are about to do. You understand? They could use that to justify it, right? The thing is, we had to be careful with how we are approaching every situation. Yes, I believe that something seriously has to be done, right? We need to take a different approach. But let us assume that a police officer shoots someone, right? That has just lit fire to a store, right? Or pelted through a bottle at somebody or attacked someone else, and that police officer pulled out his or her gun.
Yes, brother, good to see you.
I said, listen, these two persons were fighting. We were trying to calm them down, and they retaliated, and we had no choice because we were in fear of our lives, and we shot them. You know what would happen, especially based on the system that we all are uncomfortable with at this point? That police officer would be justified, right? It would be justified. When we had, you see, the thing is though, we don't. This is not the first time that a black person that
you know what?
This is not the first time.
You know what? We know what needs to happen here. There's too much of this. When they do what they do, they don't think about, well, how does this affect this and how we can plan to do that. It's shoot to kill. And at this point in time, it's got to be shoot to kill. That's it. Because when will you learn? When you start to lose your own family for this stuff, when you go out and you leave the police station, you know, I leave the police station and I might go and shoot one of them, but I might lose my life as well in the process. You may just think twice before you pick up a gun. You may just think twice before you try and do what you've been doing, trying to make people not breathe. Now, a question I'll ask you, Earl, all these people with all these video cameras and filming all these events and watching all this from.
Yeah.
Well, this is not on. This ain't right. I'll put my gun and shoot this police officer, or at least I'm gonna put my gun. I'm gonna threaten this police officer because look, this is not right. You're watching a man die in front of your eyes, and you're not doing anything. But you've got time to be filming the whole event. This is sick, isn't it? What are you doing?
What is happening? What is happening is terrible. But to put their lives in danger their lives, the way that they're doing the things, right? To me, they need to take a different approach, right? A different approach in the sense that it doesn't make sense going looting, as Melvin, as you said. It defeats the purpose, right? It shows how selfish we are. Somebody is dead, right? But we go in and picking up shoes and clothing and so on, right? And for what purpose? To go and wear it. It's as simple as that. And we need to change how we react to things, because what we're actually doing is we're going into business places of persons who may or may not have been supporting our cause, right? What we have done, we have taken the jobs of persons who would have been at the same Target stores and other stores, right? And those persons in turn, instead of standing, they would say, you know what? These persons are acting like animals. And then the whole focus of a black man being murdered by a monster, by 4 monsters.
It move above that. It move up.
Yeah, but you're still coming back to the point I made in the beginning of all this. Be not yoked with unbelievers. If you have your own systems and you have your own place and you have your own businesses and you have your own economy, you wouldn't have to be subservient to this. You wouldn't have to say, oh, because we're all looking the same. We're all the same mindset.
My experience, right? Let me give you all 2 experiences that I had in New York. One positive, negative, right? Now, the negative one first. And the reason why I'll give the negative one first is because I like to remain positive. I want you all to remember the positive, right?
Okay.
Positive is more important to me. Now, the negative one, I remember I went to a bar in Manhattan, right? Bar None was the name of this bar. Nice little bar. There's a bar in front. There's a club in the back. I went there. Took off my jacket because it was obviously around winter time. I took off the jacket whilst I was on the dance floor. I was having a good time, me and my friends. And then I was called by the DJ. And I was wondering, well, how does this DJ know my name, right? So when I went to the DJ booth, the DJ actually presented my passport to me, right? There was some person that gave the bouncer, some drunk person that took my jacket and gave the bouncer my passport outside and said that someone put their passport in their jacket, right? So the bouncer went to the DJ, gave him my passport. I was called, I got it. Now I went to the police station to make a report to describe the jacket and everything, because I did not only have the passport inside of there, I lost my wallet, my keys, my Metro card, everything, right? Now on my way to the police station, looking for this police station in Manhattan, an NYPD vehicle passed with 2 white officers, right? And I tried stopping that police vehicle, right? I actually flagged them down and they just looked at me and they kept driving, right? I had to walk a few blocks in the cold to go to the police station, the NYPD police station. There I met, I believe it was a lieutenant. He was Chinese, and he refused to do anything. He refused to even contact the club to look at the cameras and so on, right? This is what they did. No, nothing was done, obviously. This is why I said it was a negative. Now, on the positive side of things, when I returned to that same club, because that became a favorite spot, right? When I returned to that same club, Melbourne, about a year after. Now, I at midnight, my Metro card expired, right? My friend and I, we entered the subway, right? And upon entering the subway, I obviously had to wait. I believe it takes 20 minutes to double swipe at one subway station, right? So seeing that the train was not coming within the next 30 minutes, and there was no, at that station, there was no machine to buy a card, a Metro card to travel. I was about to just stand outside and just chill until the time had passed, right? So then I would be able to get the swipe, my friend to swipe the card so I could enter. And there were 3 police officers there, NYPD officers. One of them came up to me and said, look, something to the effect, yo, my man, I see you out here. And he just opened and he let me in. He let me into the station, right? He did not have to do that, right? Not everyone is the same. A next officer, right, white or black, might have just come up to me and pat me down, look for some drugs or whatever. It was after 12, it was only us there, right? But the situation could have been handled differently and would have been handled differently based on the mentality of an officer. Not all the officers are bad. You know, I had some really nice, some really welcoming, some really memorable experiences with persons of different races, right? I also had some bad experiences as well, right? Not only police officers, even in Grenada, in my own country, right? I am being victimized and not by white persons in Grenada. I'm victimized by persons of my nationality and my race, right? The prejudice is there. And remember earlier we said that racism is prejudice, is discrimination.
Not just that, in Grenada, there's a caste system in Grenada like India. Depends on your name and who you're affiliated to.
Yeah, what your last name is.
Yeah. It's a caste. There's a caste system here, and it's rooted within. There's a deadly racism.
So Dobson, there's a friend of mine from Grenada on the live, Frank White, Dobson. Dobson, I do agree, but remember, let us remember how many riots that it had in America when black persons died. There were many riots.
Yeah,
now,
but the riots are targeting the wrong
media, right?
They're in the wrong places.
Right? Ingram said, look at what the media does. And Ingram, you're correct, because I remember there was a reference made to 2 separate riots. One was with some teenage Caucasian people who went, I believe was probably the Super Bowl or something, and their team lost and they turned over vehicles and everything like that. They threw them over, right? They came together and lifted those vehicles, right? The media said something to the effect that they are the disappointed teenagers with the white persons, with the Caucasian guys.
When the black people do it.
How there was the situation where persons protested Tamir Rice, a young child that was shot by police. Even when we had Trayvon Martin was shot and killed, and there were riots, right? But the media referred to the black people that were rioting, they referred to them as thugs.
Remember this. Those who control the media control the minds.
Yes, that's correct.
Understand this. This is what I said before. We invested in their media because
Yes.
America's biggest export is media. That's what America exports, media. So we're invested in them. The poison of their media, the poison of their food, the poison of their education system. It's all poison. We think it's good for us, but it's not. We need to cut away from all that stuff and have our own systems, and our own things. We do.
So let me ask you all a question. You all, based on all the riots that we saw take place, had Sandra Bland. Sandra was the young lady. Melvin, the young lady, the traffic stop with Sandra Bland. The officer actually threw her to the ground. They arrested her. Eventually, what was told to the people of this world is that she committed suicide in herself. This is not the first time that I have been following what has been happening in America to Black people, right? There has been many references how Black persons are treated and how white persons are treated. Sometimes same crimes, sometimes even worse crimes. When we look at how Dylan Roof was treated after he walked into that Black church and shot up.
Don't go there. Weinstein and Cosby. Weinstein and Cosby. Talk to me about that.
Say that again.
Weinstein and Cosby.
Right. Okay. So even the situation with Bill Cosby, even the situation with the president of America, right?
If Obama said the stuff that Trump said, what would happen?
Hold on, repeat. You're breaking up.
President Obama said the same things that Trump's been saying. What would happen?
Right. What would happen?
If Obama told everyone to go drink disinfectant, what would happen?
None of our Ingram. What would happen would depend on the mindset of the person in charge of the court or the jury.
No.
You know what I would have liked to see, Melvin? I would have liked to see two persons, different races, committing the same crime and being tried by the same judge and jury, and then I would say, you know what, the system is biased. But as I was saying earlier today, Ingram, it's not really the system that is biased, it's the people that are in the system, the people that make up the system.
No,
right?
See, this is what it is. No. It's not that. It is the system itself that's been put there from generation to generation that is being founded on racists.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And what has happened is there's been no movement to change it because it suits the privilege of those. If you change the system, then you no longer have that privilege. You no longer have that power. And why would you do that? Because we're foolish. Because we are so enslaved to the system. Why are you gonna release the slaves? Why would you do that? Why would you do it?
Now,
ask you this. Why is it not England?
Listen to this, right?
Problem. Why?
Listen to this, the laws are there. The laws are there for murder, for man 1, for man 2. The laws are there, right?
The laws are there to suit only those.
The problem, Melvin, just the last point. The problem is not the law. The problem is the people that are supposed to implement the law. It's the people that are at fault, right? And what I mean by that is that there's no law that says a white person should not receive a harsh punishment as a Black person. There's no law that says that a white person commits.
Wait. What law? Is that the law that we can see or the law that they can see? Because the law are you talking about a law that we see in the public or a law that they see?
We're speaking about the laws on the books.
No. There's two laws, You know there are two laws. There are laws that apply to us, and there are laws that apply to them. That's why when it comes before us getting justice most of the time. The law is, hold on, what's the law for a black person? We'll follow this. What's the law for a white person? We'll follow that. So then, of course, we're going to get similar results for the most part. And the person who decides not to follow those laws is exceptional, because there are two laws, one for black, one for white, for the most part. And that's why we keep seeing the same pattern and trend all the time. One for one set of people, one for another set of people.
Yeah. No, the point I was making on Ingram commented. Abu Bakr said in 1990, Abu Bakr overthrew the government in Trinidad.
Yeah.
And after he overthrew, because the same thing was they wanted was to take his asset and different stuff. And at the time, a lot of illegal things was going on in the country, which behind the scene we didn't know. So the system went after him. He went on prayers Friday and just threw guns on his members and said, "We go in town and overthrow the government." It had parliament at the time, and I think they attacked the headquarters, police headquarters in Trinidad and Tobago, and they went into the television station and a radio station, 4 areas they touched. Now, I think they spent about 5 or how much days have the country under siege. The army come out, this one come out, and hey. Now, where he attacked television, radio, parliament. Okay? Now, he captured the country. After he made the prime minister of the country, he shot him in his knee. One of the minister, which was the sports was Jennifer Johnson, I think, put her undies on the mouth of the gun, and it cleaned her tongue, cleaned the prime minister tongue with it at the time, which was Anna Robinson. Okay? One minister, I think, had diabetes. He gets shot and he died. He made the president sign an amnesty. Sign this amnesty, and he come out with his hand up and all his men, and he walk out. I don't think they spend much time in prison because they get amnesty from the president. And he shoot the prime minister. Now, a few years after that, he was on radio, and his statement was, he can always do that again. He said it. He said there's 2 laws. There's a law for the rich, and there's a law for the poor.
Amen.
And he said, I study the law. He said, Abu Bakr, he study law. He's a lawyer. He said, I understand the law. Now, the Queen of England, I've been following the Queen. There's a series on Netflix on the Queen, The Crown. The name of it is The Crown. When she was small, she asked why she wasn't going to normal school like everybody else. They told her she don't need to go to normal school like everybody else. She's the queen. The only person she answers to is God. Okay? So watch all what the Crown did around the world. Okay? The only person she answers to is God, nobody else. So anybody else after her, they teach them according to. So much less you as a slave child. Much less you as a slave child. So there's 2 types of law. Just like the Bible. There's 2 Bibles. There's the Bible on slavery, and there's the Bible on redemption. There's the Bible tell you must save your money and how you must market and how you get involved in business and what and what. The Indian know about that, the Chinese know about that, the white man know about that. Our Bible teach us to serve. You mustn't heap up riches and look up in the sky for God to come. You understand?
It's within.
No, it's different teaching. This is where the problem are. What they have for us, the rum shop, the church, the police station, and the funeral home. This is what, and this is what's going on right now in the States and all over the world in black community.
So hear this. Yes, I agree that there's the tangible law and then the other, right? There is, right? Now, when we look at the Caribbean, we look at our people in general. When we look at our people, let's look at people in Grenada and versus law, right? Things happen.
Let me zoom in.
Huh?
Let us zoom in on the law in Grenada. Okay?
Right. So things happen based on what we accept, right? You see the rum shop that they have for us, right? That's what we accept, right? This is not in the 1930s where we have a law where a black person is treated like an animal. It's not written like that, where a black person cannot go and use a public bathroom.
Wow.
Yeah, things has changed.
Somebody put in some good comments in.
Left. That's a BWTM supporter right there.
Yeah.
You want to read it out, Nathan?
Say that again?
You want to read it out? What Leif's comment is?
Hold on. About law, I think I might have to get glasses. About in 2014, a German court agreed to end the bribery trial of Bernie Ecclestone. Ecclestone.
Yes.
In exchange for $1 million, $60 million.
$100 million.
From him.
Well, Bernie Ecclestone was I think he was the owner of Formula One.
He was the owner of Formula One. Okay.
I believe so.
Right. I personally, you see, there's so many issues to follow in Grenada with human rights and so on. And Grandma, I have no time to for the Formula One and the normal things that people have. You know, we have so much things. And then, Melvin, that's what I'm saying. You see, what people accept. This is not when they had back in the early 1900s where George Stinney Jr. was executed. Emmett Till, that's not where they were executed and beaten by people and trials taking half an hour, right?
It had a place in America called the Black Wall Street.
Yes.
Them men and them had their own city, own business and everything running. Okay? One white girl went in there and a white guy, and an incident happened in an elevator. Okay? And she went back out, and whatever happened, those people come with aeroplane and grenade and bomb the town. Okay? Mash because the Black Wall Street, that is how Wall Street come about. It was a thriving business, black-owned banks and hotels and just name it. These people destroyed and allowed to get away with it. There's no justice was given to these people. Okay? Now, I tell you, we zoom back home here.
Hold on. So the new Wall Street was built and we just sat back like idiots and watched it.
Yeah. Now, let us zoom in home. We have an issue with Grand Lake. Over $200 million have to be paid to Grand Lake. $6 million have to pay to the lawyers or whatever it is. There's a next case before that was with Line or Flow with Digicel and Cable Wireless again. We lost that case. Okay.
But move on before
all these monies disappear. Election come and all you could hear somebody say, "I'm sorry for what I did and give me a chance again." And people, I was saying, I'm not blaming the people. If you bring person to the well and you give them a rope and you put a bucket of water and you keep them there for days, and they're watching the bucket of water and you're thirsty, your throat dry, you're going to do anything to get a water because you know you're going to die. And that is the position we are in right now. When these fellas do this thing, all this money disappeared. You build roads. Instead of you're supposed to put 2 pounds of flour and how much eggs and how much this and that to make a proper cake. You get all the eggs and all the flour and you take out 1 pound for yourself and 2 eggs and how much oil. And you're going to build a road. You put no paper. You put no paper.
Melvin, let me just drop a point. No, hear this. Before we move over to monies that have been squandered by the government, and it has been squandered by the government because of what Grenada accept, right? Now, let's stick to the police brutality and death by police, right? Now, in Grenada, little Grenada, where we don't have any white police officers.
Hold up in. Ingram.
Yes.
I'm telling the guy we're going to look at it. The guy that posed it today.
Rahamson.
Yeah, he said on social.
Yes, we will definitely check it out. We'll
just drop the link. Get the link and put it in the description box, and then we'll look at it after. We'll have a look at it.
Yeah, we will definitely check it out.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, go ahead.
Always welcome information. We always welcome information.
Go ahead.
So, Ingram, where we do not have any Caucasian police officers in Grenada, where our population is approximately 111,000 people.
What you said?
Right. Listen, I'm saying before changing over, right, to maladministration, where monies have been squandered due to corruption in the government, I want to continue on the trail of persons losing their lives at the hands of police officers. But we move to Grenada, and Grenada does not have any Caucasian officers, right? It does not have any white police officers in Grenada.
They're not true.
Right? Which white officer we have in Grenada? Police officer.
The assistant commissioner?
He's not white.
Yes, he's white.
His skin light.
He's what they call a Grenada white.
No, but he's not white. He's not white. No, but if he wants to travel anywhere, he's black. He's black.
He's from
Grenada white.
Listen, he's a Grenada white.
Listen, he's black, right? No matter how much he might want to be, he's black, right? Now, let's look at the situation we had, right? Oscar Bartholomew, 2010, Melvin, was it December 2010? That he was killed. He was killed, brutally beaten and killed.
But that's one case you know about. What about Zuti? You ever heard about Zuti?
No, I ain't done yet. I just want to call names. Oscar Bartholomew, who was beaten and killed by our police officers, our local police officers, right? Let us look at Cameron Peters, young Cameron Peters, early 20s, who was brought to the Criminal Investigations Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force. And half an hour after that, right, being charged for a petty traffic offense. Half an hour after that, we were told that he hung himself in the jail, in CID, right? No investigation done, right? Let us look at Bruce Briggs, a mute Ingram, a guy that could not speak and he could not hear. He was shot by a superintendent of police, right? Shot and killed. There were no investigations done. No independent bodies came in to Grenada to do an investigation, right? But instead, what the Royal Grenada Police Force did was just saying that the shooting was justified, although Superintendent Lee said that the guy was just walking up to him in the dark. Right? He did not say that the guy was actually running up to him in a manner that he believed he was going to be attacked. He said the guy just kept walking towards him when he said stop, right? And he is aware because his brother is also a mute, right? So this young man was shot and killed at the hands of a police officer. We also had in 2013, Claudia St. Paul, Tittery from Guelph, that was taken by 2 police officers since 2013, the Sunday before Carnival 2013, and has disappeared. Even to date, he has disappeared. He has not been seen. No one knows if he is dead or if he's alive, right? This information I have brought to the attention of the same Grenada white man that you said, the Commissioner of Police, Acting Commissioner of Police, Mr. Edwin Martin, right? Prior to his appointment as Acting Commissioner.
I get a picture of this guy. What's his name?
Claudius St. Paul. Claudius St. Paul.
This is the Canadian white.
Oh, Edwin Martin. That's who Melvon referred to, Acting Commissioner of Police, right? Prior to his appointment, I brought that to the attention of the previous Acting Commissioner, Mr. James. What's his first name again? Winston James, is it?
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's done. Nothing has been done. So the deaths.
Oh yeah. I hear you. I see what this guy white. This guy's not black.
Yeah, he's not white. He's black.
He's not black.
Oh, he's white.
If he's black, then I'm Pakistani. If he's black, I'm Pakistani. Wait, let me get a picture of this guy up. No, I'm sorry. This guy is not black.
No, I
No. So Melvon, no. What I'm saying is, right now, the thing is, these things they continue.
But how much are these Caucasians living in Grenada up in the prison?
Let me see if I can get a screen share for this.
Huh?
Because it's important. Let me get a screen share for this guy. Let me get a screen share.
How much are only people like me and your color up in the prison? These colors committed more crime than me and you. White collar crime.
You see, there is racism in Grenada.
Caste system.
There's the fact, right? As you say, the class system where we have our own people of our own skin tone, right? That are against us.
Can you see it?
Yeah, we're seeing it.
That's the gentleman there, the skinhead. This guy here. Can you see where the mouse is?
He look like an Australian.
Wow.
Melvin, but I can assure you, I'm sure he is I assure you he's as Grenadian as you and I. Right? So yes. So Ingram, I like how the screen is arranged the next way. Yeah, lovely. Right.
Okay.
Now, Melvin, you see the thing is
somebody said they're Googling Grenada white.
Somebody just messaged me and said that's the best cop in the world, the most favorite, most popular.
Let me ask you a question. Why are channels calling the George Floyd tragedy a hoax?
Why are channels according to the president of the United States, that's fake news. According to the president, that's fake news. You see, the thing is, I am naturally on the side of justice. I am actually on the side of reason, right? I am naturally on the side of fact. And based on what is happening in Melbourne, racism exists in the mind, right? It exists in the mind. And look at, you said earlier in the show, the situations that you would have faced. You reasonably believe that you have progressed more based on the attention of persons of different
Because they make you think, they make you study.
Hello?
That's Prime Minister Grenada now calling.
Hello? I'm taking a call.
Yeah, it's Keith Mitchell. Yeah, my brother.
Listen, you want to join us?
Go
ahead still. Go ahead.
Nicholas Steele. It's Nicholas Steele. Earl's best friend. New comments. You got some new comments there, see?
Yeah. Some good. They're putting up some good comments here. You should read them out.
Here we go. I think there's new comments, but I can't seem to go down the page more. Won't let me go down the page for some reason. Let's go on the YouTube channel. I can see the YouTube channel, the comments. No, it isn't. It's just the same. I'm more black than Edward Martin. Yeah, the comments on YouTube. Master Hand says, I've seen channels using Gematria say it's Cyclops, or saying it's like it's made up. It's just a cause. I don't know.
That with the riot what taking place up there?
All right, my apologies. Ingram, I just received a call there. We should have
Nicholas Steele in the room?
No. I don't individuals. We having Curl and Campbell. He should be joining us, so just look out for him on
you have these shows. You've got Babyface versus Teddy Riley. They should have you versus Nicholas Steele. That would be great.
Yeah, that would be great.
What do you think?
That would be great. Because there's much to discuss. Right?
Ingram, you know, I went about 3 times because I from the south, right? I went about 3 times at this man's office. I sat down there and wait when 2 o'clock registered and say he have another engagement. So they send him to find out who in the office. And then they send a message, he won't be in today, so he need to come back. I forget that. You understand? There's a lot of money thrown around this guy because they say if you need to do anything in the community, whatever assistance is given to them. But they say it's not man that's sharing bread, it's God. But whoever sharing the bread is not reaching down to the bottom because, as I tell you, there's a lot of shit out there with young persons and with ladies right now. As I tell you, with this corona, this disease that's going on, there's a lot of persons out there is hot in it. And I don't know, as I asked the question and I asked Earl, and even on social media, I see Earl post a thing and I asked, there's an opposition leader right now, and I asked the question, who he really representing? Earl, I would really like to touch on that. Who he representing? Because NDP 22,000 votes. Okay? This guy run for he never held an office. He was there for the last 5 years or how much, and he was working in his view. He was collecting a salary, and he was out within his community assisting his friends. So now,
not only collecting a salary, right? But he was collecting a minister's salary, although he was not appointed as a minister. Right?
He was robbing the state.
Right, which means that he owes the state. He has to reimburse the state. Right.
But no, he put up himself as an opposition leader because the salary received, he's not satisfied with it. But who he represented?
Well, certainly he has not represented me. Right? Certainly he represented the people of Grenada.
But they're going to appoint him to make written decision in the constitution and changes in the constitution, which will affect you and me. And I don't understand what's going on. You see, these people playing with people's life.
Yeah, yeah, they are. They are. They playing with the lives of others. What I want to get what I want to get across the point that these are not Caucasian people. These are our people. These are our Grenadian people.
Remember, I said at the top of the show, this is a sickness. This isn't a color. It's a sickness.
It is. It is. It's in the mind. It is in the mind. Now, you see, the thing is, and the problem that we have is that when persons are appointed to represent a country, when persons are appointed in parliament and in the Senate, right, or in the cabinet, once they are appointed, once they become a part of the public service, all the politics needs to stop. It needs to come to an end. The allegiance to the political party.
Countries.
It needs to come to an end, right? And this is why we are having issues with every public sector, right? Every sector that is governed by a public officer who has their own political affiliations and their own political loyalties and so on. This is what is causing problems in the world. This is what is causing problems in the world, right? In Grenada, for instance, just a small population, 110,000 people, right? Why should we have to be going through all these hurdles, right? Grenada there's no democracy in Grenada. There's none. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I just hear people say not Grenada poor. Grenada have mountain. They have mountain. They have waterfalls. You have natural spring sulfur springs.
Yes, we do.
Around the island. Okay? You have,
yes, we do.
You have a lake which is an extinct crater, several of that also. You're surrounded by water which have different type of species of fishes. Okay? Whale. The last time a shark whale come up here. That is an industry by itself. Okay? You're talking, you have wind power. You're talking about places where they're in the desert. It's just sand. You're not even seeing a tree. Okay?
Yes.
And your population is only 100,011. Okay? And then still talking about you poor, how you become poor. Look how much wealth you have, human energy. The whole problem you have, we put in too much of persons in place, selfish person to run your affairs. Like this man, as I tell you, he just put up himself because he's an opposition. And he put up himself. But who you representing?
Let me just touch on something briefly, right? Now, I would not get into details because the situation still exists in Grenada. But I want to draw a reference, shed some light on how we even treat our own people, right? And the information that I'm going to relate is information that is already in the public, right? Now, a month ago, we had a young man from Cameroon in Gambia. You might be aware, you might not be aware. We had a young Cameroonian national that came to Grenada seeking asylum, right? And instead of our country welcoming a brother of ours, right, from the motherland, who was seeking political asylum, this did not happen. He was locked up in a police station, right? He was locked up in a police station. And the only reason he came out is because there was intervention from a very reputable lawyer in Grenada, right? I would not get into much details and things, but if
we have coming in the room, Kellyanne Campbell.
Kurlan, yes, Kurlan is joining us. Kurlan, how are you, my brother? Kurlan Campbell.
Yeah. Good guy. Good guy.
Yes.
Good evening or good morning.
He said 1 second, Ingram.
Okay, well,
So,
use
Ingram, you see the way that we treat our own, right? We having so much issues. We are expressing so many issues with how black people are being treated in America.
I got treated similar. I came into Grenada, and they're trying to throw me off the island. When I was trying to work on the island, throw me off the island, call me a big shot for it. There's a on the island.
Ingram, do you see what I'm saying? We're crying shame, right, on what is happening in America, how black people are being treated in America. But when it is our turn, right, Colin say he's having audio issues.
You know what? Do you know the way to solve? Do you know what's going to end up having to happen? Civil war, revolution, people picking up their guns and going to government offices and shooting and killing and going to police stations. That's what's going to end up happening, because eventually people will lose their tempers, as Santana would say, is loses temper. And people will say, you know what? You ain't listening to me no more. Guns, knives, we're going.
So Ingram, now my problem is that we're saying, you know what, we don't like what is happening in America. We don't like how black people are being treated. But when we have the opportunity for ourselves, right? This is the kind of treatment that we put to our own brothers and sisters. We have persons that came to get asylum, but instead they have been sent away to the prisons, right? Yes, Melbourne.
That happening all over. In Grenville, in a supermarket. I can remember years. That time I was a shop short. A Chinese supermarket. The Chinese man kicked one of the workers in Grenada. You understand? So this racism and injustice with us going right around. Right, and we is what creating it, because we don't want to study. A lot of us not even following what's taking place in Africa right now. We're with business.
Right, and we should not blame a specific race for our force, right?
Self-identity and self-hate.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Right?
And once we can understand what disease is, what we can understand what the sickness is, then we can start to treat it. But there needs to be some truthful, long, hard discussions without excuses, without mediocre solutions, and less talk and more action. Proactive movements, because we as a people generally are reactive people. We have to take about 50,000 blows for us to say, it's hurting. We don't say, you know what? I can see the blows coming. Let me get out of here. No. The only time we react, the only time we respond is in movies, where in a haunted house, we leave real quickly when it's a haunted house. We leave. We're gone. We stick around.
Let me just say, Caroline, could you hear us?
Yes, I could. Could you hear me?
Lovely,
you can hear me.
Lovely.
Caroline,
just introduce yourself real quickly.
All right. Well, thank you so much for inviting me,
Welcome.
And good evening to Master Coutinho. How are you? And I'm not sure I'm familiar with this brother here, but what's your name, sir?
Ingram.
Ingram. All right. Nice to meet you, man. I'm glad to be here. Well, hey, that's good, man. Where do you live? Just to give me a quick update.
Yeah.
Ingram is in England.
Oh, in England. All right.
Yeah, England.
All right. Yes. So
I've had the honor of spending 2 years in Grenada and having to get all up in your government and sitting down talking with your prime minister and all the rest of it. Who unfortunately is a member of family, so you know how it goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Maitland, you just repeat the question again.
You asked your question.
Yes, and Maitland, just repeat the question.
Hold on, they're not giving some trouble though.
Yeah, he said repeat the question, Earl. What you asked him?
Yes, yours.
Yeah, so Cullen, basically what had happened, we doing this live. We normally do programs discussing matters Grenadian, international in some cases. But we have witnessed the execution of a gentleman in Minnesota, Mr. Floyd, that has the hands of police officers. Basically, my humble point of view is that racism exists in the minds of persons and not in skin tone, not in the skin color, because racism is a mindset. In my humble point of view, we have different races doing to us, we also do to us, right? So we just want your take on the whole situation, and what you believe is happening. What you think about the situation, and how is best.
Okay. Right. So just double checking you hear me properly, right? The net is not dropping. Okay, good.
Yes, we're hearing you well.
All right. Thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. Is well needed, especially from people in the Caribbean. Somehow we feel that we're not part of the global scheme of things. And sometimes we tend to mind our business, and what happens in America is actually our business as well. First off, I try not to have my own personal opinions on racism, but I do refer to scholars who have studied racism, right? Particular one, this book here, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, The ISIS Papers. I'm not sure if now that's one of many books that have explained and break down what racism is. And racism, like I said to you, is a power dynamic. In my humble opinion, Black people cannot be racist, because in order to be racist, you need to have power. We don't have any power. We share little, privileges, but we do not have power in the grand scheme of things, meaning that we do not make decisions that would affect other races. So today or tomorrow, I could get up and say, I hate Chinese. That's my personal preference. I don't like Chinese, but that's prejudice. The difference between being prejudiced and being racist. Being prejudiced is not liking you for a particular feature, your skin tone, your nose, your eyes, whatever the case. That's being prejudiced. And a lot of racists are prejudiced. But racism is a power dynamic, and racism is where you could dictate how one could live, and the amount of money they could make, and the status that they could reach, and where they could go, and what they could do. That is power. And Black people in a global scheme of things do not have that power. So that's my take on what racism is, based on scholars, people that have discussed it.
Right. So I beg to differ, right? When it comes to power, right? Just imagine the kind of power we have as people. We don't necessarily have the political power, right? But we do have a certain power. Let's take for example, that I, as a Black man, I might see a white person or a Chinese person walking, and I have a gun, and I was to take that person's life. That person is white, or that person is Chinese, or of a different race. I did it for because of means of racism, right? And that is power. It's not the political power, right? To say, okay, you know what? I want minimum wage change. I want facilities, different facilities, whatever. But in a sense like that, we do have power.
We have economic power. If we take ourselves and the investments we make in things, and we take our money away, we have economic power. All that we have economic power. So what we do is the problem.
I understand the angle Curlan is coming from, and I always welcome debates. I love it. Right? We're not too old to learn my way. We all respect each other's opinions, and that's what I love about Curlan. Right? I love that about them. I love that about Ingram and Melbourne. Right? Every day no matter how old I am, I still continue learning. And it's because of healthy debates like this. But in the sense, although the research might say that we don't have power, I believe that we do have power.
We have to
actually when we unite. Probably about a year, 2 years ago, persons in our community, mostly Black persons, were in a community in Brooklyn, I believe, and they were demanding that minimum wage be raised from $10 an hour to $15 an hour, right? And they used that power, and it worked. There was a young lady who was incarcerated. She shot to the roof, I believe, in self-defense of her husband who was attacking a Black lady. And she was sentenced to 20 years in jail. And it was because of the power that the Black people used. Their limited power, that sentence was able to be repealed. Yes, Melvin.
Two things are happening right now. We're not paying attention. In England, because of what happened in China, with the Chinese attacking Blacks in China. In England right now, the Blacks and them set up a website for Black business. So they're telling people, watch it, don't go by this, because these Chinese with us do nails and all these things. So they say all Black business register into this organization. And then they put it out like, you want something as a Black man, you're not going to no Chinese and buy.
Yeah.
Okay? And that is spend power. Africa right now is saying they want to build one of the biggest trading bloc in the world. So they look into the diaspora of Africa and saying, okay, let us put, if it's $1,000 into block, okay? And that is over the calculator, how much $1 billion that will multiply, and where they can assist. And that is one of the things Gaddafi wanted to do. And that is why spending power. This is what Ingram was talking early on about what? Forget about these things and put your resources together. Like the four of us here, we come up with a website. We continued what we're doing here. We build a program in place, and you ask other brothers to join in. If it's $1,000 to put in or whatever into it, and you take it and you invest. So therefore you move away from this problem. So you have what I call spending power. This is what we have. We is who keeping these people business afloat.
But Melvin, listen to me carefully, yeah? No, I believe if we take that approach, right, that we wouldn't support that race because we are that race, then that
you'll make changes.
That separation there.
No, but hold on 1 second. Wait, hold on. Now, remember I said before that it's not about color, it's about the content of the person's heart. Okay?
Yes.
So if you're going to start exiling people that are willing to help and that are not snakes and that are not demons or devils, and you've got those people that want to help you, why would you exile them? You're just as bad as they are.
Right.
True.
But
very true.
You have to make sure that the captain that's steering the ship has got a sound mind, or the captains, the leadership, have got the sound mind to understand, to discern what is good and what's not so good.
Yes.
Or else you'll get infiltration once again, and the whole thing falls apart. Now, I want to ask one question. India, how have India in terms of economy, how's that economy been able to grow from where India was probably 30 years ago to where India is now? How's China been able to grow from where China was to where China is? There must have been investment, there must have been a mindset, there must have been change. What is it these people have done to improve, and why is it us as a people are not using the same infrastructure and putting those things in place? And I know Kurlan has to say something about it.
Yeah. I was itching to get into that conversation because I think that's where All right. Here's what. We need to understand that people of African descent, melanoid people, whatever names that you have for it, we are not the only people that have experienced so-called white supremacy. But we are the only people to have suffered the longest and still suffering today from that. Right. Now, China has had their experience with European domination. India has had that as well.
Mongolian also.
Right. A number of other nations outside of Japan and right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they needed to fight racism from within first. Right? And they put their people first. They understood that in order to move their country forward, the people who were supporting the system of so-called white supremacy needed to die. So in China, they executed people who are against the agenda of everybody.
You hear that? Well, that's it. What I said about people in Grenada, you need to execute them. I don't think.
No. I'm not. No. Understand. This is history. I'm just saying this is history, and they don't even teach. And that's the thing right now. China has an issue where there's skin bleaching in China, so there's still elements of self-hate. So what we're experiencing now, and we say, oh, black people hate each other and stuff like that. All races have that same issue. The only difference is they know when to put aside those issues for the general well-being of everybody as a race.
And survival.
And survivors.
Melvin,
We have yet to figure that out.
Melvin, you're going to hate me for saying this, but I'm going to go back to the Bible again, and I'm going to give you another thing. The Noah's Ark system. The system of having those people that understand what needs to be done, getting them in the ark, bring them together, and let's move forward. And them that don't believe, let them get washed out and crushed out by this white supremacy that's out there at the moment. Yeah. So build your ark, get your people in, and get off the land. Move to another land.
And practice incest.
I've given you another biblical thing again. I gotta keep sucking it to you with the scripture. I gotta keep sucking it to you until you take it in.
I'm not gonna talk religion here. But I don't.
You're looking practical things here. We're saying come together. Let's come together as a nation. Yeah. Let's move away. And then people who have got that mindset of wanting to stick with the government and stick with what the government's got to say and hate one another, well, so what? Let them stay.
But let me just show you all something there quickly. Colin, Melvin, Ingram, look at this gentleman here. Right? I'm posting the picture so everybody could have a look. Look at this gentleman. Could you all see that?
No. Let me see. Let me get it up on the screen. Bang.
Right, lovely. So this gentleman here, Tim Jenkins, right? This gentleman was a member of the ANC, the African National Council or Congress, African National Congress, right? What race is this gentleman, Melvin? He's Caucasian. He's Caucasian, isn't it?
Yeah. He's kind of white.
Right?
I am yet to... Who is the gentleman?
Colin, you see this gentleman here?
What is this?
These fellas was loyal.
Right. Ingram, you can take down the picture.
Sure.
Who is this gentleman?
Right. So let me tell you who this gentleman is. He was a member of the ANC. The ANC is the group that was supporting. Ingram, Melvin, you can hear me?
Yeah, the Nelson Mandela Party.
Right, lovely. This gentleman was willing. Colin, you're there, you're listening, right?
Okay.
Colin?
Well, probably that is the reason why Nelson Mandela has lost his revolutionary spirit.
No. No. You see that man that I just showed you there? Y'all need to look at the movie.
Hear.
From what was it? Let me see the name of that movie. Escape from Right, but anyway, whilst I'm looking for the movie, I'll tell you all what this gentleman Kurlak got arrested for the cause. He got arrested and sentenced. His partner was sentenced to 12 years. I think he was sentenced to 20 years.
Robin Island?
Huh?
Robin Island?
What?
Island? Which island it is?
South Africa.
No. Nelson Mandela was in prison on Robin Island.
No. This man was right. This man was locked up in a prison in Pretoria prison. So that's the name of it. The name of the movie is Escape from Pretoria. Watch it. This man was willing to go to prison for the cause. He was a white man, right? He stood for our cause, for Black people, right? What he did when he went in there, he and a next gentleman, they broke out of the prison. He actually made keys in the workshop. Y'all should really look at that movie. It's based on a true story. This is the man right there. And unfortunately, we don't have a lot of Black people like that are willing to stand in the face of victimization and oppression and the so-called racism that we're facing, right? This man, Ingram, he started making keys like in 3 parts to open the locks in the prison doors to escape, right? He was treated badly because he stood up for people of our color. They broke out. They went to England and lived, right? Y'all should really look at the story. A lot of the times we believe that the white persons in history that stood with us stood there for whatever benefit. But how many of our people right now are willing to go to jail? How many of them are willing to be imprisoned? How many of them are willing to be executed to save a life, right?
Well, it proves the point to the police needle on the guy here. One of the guy who was talking to the woman, you know he's a martial artist?
Yes, and he should have stepped in. Don't you agree he should have stepped in?
He's not a martial artist. No, don't do that. A martial artist is a person supposed to help somebody. Chop, that is a motto you live by. He stand up here and steer incident like that and did nothing.
Let me change the paradigm of this conversation a second. Let me go on the other side of the fence. And I'm going to say that Trump, these killings, and what is going on with the injustice in the world towards Black people is only encouragement for us to have our own. But we're too ignorant and too lazy to want to do that. So more killings are going on and people are getting more and more indignant. What about that?
All right. Let me just jump in on that. Let me jump. Yeah, let me jump in on that. We also have to understand not outside, because under racism we have capitalism, right? And yes, a lot of us subscribe to capitalism. Now we have an issue here. Now, oppressed people who do not have a nation behind them, right? Because the Americans, the Black Americans, that even though they build that nation, it is not their nation, right? And they do not, because they are, a lot of them do not have a nation to back them, as in, like, for instance, Chinese Americans have China to back them. Indians have India to back them. Who are backing the Black Americans? You see the point I'm making? So they have no, right, so they have no intertwined within that system of racism, whether they're participant or not. They're still entwined in that system, and capitalism is preventing us from uniting, because I would okay, I'm a millionaire, Black millionaire. I don't really see racism like how the common folks might see it. So I'm like, well, you know what? That's not my struggle. You see the point I'm making? So we have an issue of capitalism and the love of capitalism. So it's when we see that we need to dismantle the system and create our own system that works for us, then we'll see a paradigm shift.
Bob Proctor made a point. I saw him about a couple of months ago, and he said this: for you to make an old system defunct, you just create a new one. You don't destroy it. You just create a new one that functions well, and that ultimately makes the old one defunct. This is what's happening now. We have an old world. We're going into a new world. They're doing it now to make it defunct the old world. So for us, we need to have a different mindset. And instead of thinking, okay, these people hate us, these people are against us, and it's all negative energy, maybe we could think to ourselves, you know what? It's about time we listen to that bell. It's about time we started doing something for ourselves. It's about time we kind of stop relying on these people to be our justice system. And let's just take ourselves away. We're no longer wanted. Let's move away from this and let's quietly get on with our business.
That's right. That's right. I'll give you an example of a successful, a small successful movement in the United States. It was a cult, but they call themselves the Nuwapians, right?
Yes,
back in the days. Yeah, you should know about the Nuwapians. Now, mind you, I was a member. But anyway,
it was coming somewhere.
Right, but let's now that particular civilization in America, in Georgia, had property, I think 470 something acres of land. And hold on, and the news wouldn't tell you that. That was right. They dismantled it. And I'll tell you why. No, that system was able to, the Nuwapians, they were able to have that property. They came together and brought the funds together and bought that property. They was able to build on that property, put every sort of infrastructure you could think about on that property so that people would not have to leave. So I'm talking about housing, place like mini hospitals, supermarkets, all of those things were on the land, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Dr. Malachi York was the leader.
Dr. Malachi.
Dr. Malachi.
Ben? Is it Ben?
Sorry?
Nasser Yusuf. That's another man. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, right. So Dr. York was the head of that organization. Now, what happened is that he was convicted of child molestation, racketeering charges, and money laundering, and a number of other charges. Whether that is true or not, he had a successful system. And that system was so successful that they had to dismantle it. However way they could, they orchestrated it, because the first thing they did was they had tried to indict him on zoning violations and so forth. But the idea is that he created a nation within a nation. Mm-hmm. They had their own constitution.
Yes.
They had their own language. They had their own school
system. You hear it?
They had their own currency. Hold on.
You hear what I'm talking? Right? You hear what I'm talking?
Yeah, currency. You could look it up.
You see my man sinking slowly out the screen tonight, Melvin. You see, the same thing you're talking about is the same thing I've been talking about tonight. Currency, land, business are owned.
But and they were very successful. The only flaw was, one, they did not have a military to protect it, and they underestimated the lengths that white supremacy will go to get to destroy that movement, because that movement outside of the Garvey movement was the most recent. Well, it's not as big as Marcus Garvey was millions all across the globe, but just in the United States, that was the single most successful movement.
Let me give you that, the Nuwapians, right? Mm-hmm. The military mindset of the Nation of Islam. You put that together.
What do you get, brother? You get revolution. You get revolution, man. You get revolution. No, I would not speak to whether he's innocent or guilty on the charges. That is not my concern. My concern is that he showed us a successful model on a micro scale that was very, very impactful. Yeah. So I just wanted to make that point. And their own language. Imagine, they spoke their own language. The news, if you go and look for the Nuwapian, there's a news report by Fox News did a report on when they came, and they literally came with tanks and machine guns and riot gear to arrest these people on the property.
Black Wall
And these
Street.
people had no guns. So they thought they literally was going into a place where, like Jim Jones, where he had people commit suicide and people, So they came in there, wanted to kill. That's how bad they wanted to dismantle that
I think
system.
we need to also think about Haiti and how Haiti handled the situation, because they were successful, weren't they?
Oh, Haiti, yeah. Yep, Haiti was successful, but then...
But Haiti was never... Ingram, Europe never forgave Haiti for taking independence.
I'm not hearing you. You're saying?
I said
Hello?
Europe never forgave Haiti for taking independence. Okay? That's why Haiti is suffering up to today. They never forgive them. Just isolate them, and these people live there and suffer. Up to today, that's still happening in Haiti.
No, okay, fine. And
you understand?
Do you think Haiti cares about it? They're proud of it.
Haiti is more advanced than Grenada. You know that?
What's that?
Haiti is more advanced in Grenada with technology and systems.
Grenada, no, I'm sorry, but Grenada is ignorant. I'm sorry, I have to say, it's ignorant.
I'm surprised to go in Haiti and see the type of things in Haiti. You marvel.
I mean, you sit down and you talk to some Grenadian people, and they'll tell us to you that when I was on the island, you have to be mediocre to fit in. Mediocre, you can't be a big boy. Yeah. That's the kind of nonsense. And this is from people in top positions of power. Talking that nonsense.
You have to have a certain name in order to be up there, otherwise forget that.
No, because I saw them people that up there and they were operating at a mediocre level. Yes. Because when you operate at a mediocre level, then everyone else operates that way, then work is easy. When you have to put in hard work, then people don't want the hard work. That's why you got such slackness going on.
What do y'all think we need to do? Right? Or what do y'all think should happen to implement the change that we need right now?
What
education.
The Nawapian way?
Start over because you had break up there for a second. I think my internet back.
Okay. So the Nawapian way, the military way of the nation, and how the people in Haiti work. We've got 3 excellent models there of success. And we put those 3 things together and we keep away from the movement of one black man and work as a nation and as a collective unit of leaders. We can't go wrong. How can we? We learn from our mistakes. We fight for what we believe in, and we understand what we're dealing with. And we know that if we get, we're going to have to fight for.
Hey, yeah, you hear me?
Colin, what say you?
All right. Well, first of all, there's no need to reinvent the wheel. If you look at Grenada's revolution, and you understand that revolution is not massacre, because we tend to intertwine revolution and massacre. Revolution means change, right? If we take our revolution as an example, I think that's the best thing that we could do right now. We need another revolution. We need a new revolution with new mind, with new ideas.
It's happening.
And we need to start with our education system because, one, we need to understand that we cannot expect revolution to be instant, right? It was surprising that Maurice Bishop was able to do that within 4 or 5 years. It is amazing. But you have to think long term in terms of revolution. Now, one of the things that we need to do, we need to start teaching from a primary level the issue of being conscious of self and the importance of race, of the importance of recognizing who you are and who are you connected to and your history. And if you could get the younger generation to understand that, they will now grow up with the mindset of not individualism, but as a collective whole, as a people, we'll be able to work together under one vision. Because we need to understand we don't always have to agree on everything. We think that we always have to agree, like we have to be a Christian in order to work together. You have to be a Muslim. No, Amen. We have to understand that race first. And anything that we have to do it for the collective interest of everybody and not just for the few. And I think that's where we need to start.
So, Amen. just one.
Cuba, this is what Cuba fight for years.
Just one comment I want to make.
Tell me.
On what Kirban said, not the importance of race, but the importance of being a human being. Because as long as we teach race, it would exist. That word racism would exist. So being a human.
But Colin,
I agree.
Yeah,
I
Colin,
agree. Melvin, let me just say one thing. All right. Now, we need to also understand that racism will always exist. It will always exist. You know why racism will always exist? Because we think that white people dislike us because we're black. No, it's not because we're black, and it's because of our genetic potency that they are in the minority, and they are fearful that we would exterminate them. One, genetically, and two, that we would one day wake up and realize that all the atrocities that they have gotten away with, they are afraid that we will literally wake up and do to them what they did to us. So racism is a continual system that you cannot let up. So if we were to be naive to believe that white people will give us a break if we leave them alone, we lie. That's not true. But that's my take.
But you see, like I look at it differently. Yeah? I look at it differently.
No, I respect that.
Because you see, the thing is, let's take children for instance, and that example is always given. You have two toddlers, one black, one white. They're young, they don't know anything about race. They see in a picture of them hugging, they meet and greeting each other. But society is what teaches the race, and race becomes a separation. We have to see each other or continue seeing each other.
Oh, you're wrong. You're wrong.
Well, tell me how.
Okay, I grew up in Shogwana, Trinidad, right?
Yes.
I went to a Hindu school, and it's the same thing. You grow up with an Indian kid in the community. You and that kid growing up together, playing and everything.
Yeah.
When you go home, mother come out in the garden, or your father come out from work, and then your mother hustle and they make breakfast or lunch or dinner, whatever it is. You eat, they tell you to bathe, and you go in your sleep.
Yeah.
In the Indian home, they're talking to that child. They're talking to that child from small. Time the child reach about 8 or how much years, they already know he different from you. You not doing it, but them doing it.
So Melvin, that's what I'm trying to show you, right? It's people, it's society, how people are being nurtured, how people are being educated. That's where separation comes in,
and
right?
We don't teach racism.
We teaching race. We teaching race, right? Because we saying, look, you're black, and that one Indian, and that Indian must sting. I mean, look at the situation in Trinidad. Trinidad, if you go in Trinidad, you'd be surprised at the amount of racism that it has in Trinidad, right? Trinidad is a Caribbean country, 35 minutes away from Grenada. When you go down there, we have the black people and the Indian community.
Deeper than that. Let me tell you that.
Melvin, listen to what I just said. You said that you and the child grow up together, you're all playing together. But by the time the child reach 8, the family done instill in them that they're different to you, right? That's where it coming along. We shouldn't see race. But
it starts before that because of the parents. Parents let the children play together, and then they took away from that.
But so what I'm saying is, Melvin, 2 children, 2 toddlers, they can't see the difference until we educate them. Yes, they would get older, but even though they're seeing the skin pigment is different and the hair is different, right? Based on how we grow them up. It's the same, is mindset. Like for instance, think of it this way, right? 2 persons grow up in a poor family, they're struggling. One person might end up becoming a doctor. The next person might end up becoming a criminal, right? Why is that? Is it because the person that becomes the doctor is being taught from a very young age that there are many options available, even to the poor person. The person that becomes a criminal, is it because they're being taught that because you are financially unfortunate,
Oh,
you have limited options? Which is it?
let me show you that. The point you make there, it started conceiving. Okay? Now
Yeah.
these people read. They teach the children about sex. Now, when they're going to make a child, they plan a child. They don't just go. You can't go and thief tonight and go and conceive somebody. What do you think you're going to produce? Okay? These persons know again about oils. They have certain time because these people believe in the sun. They believe in the moon. They study these things. We don't do these things. So when they produce a child, if they want a child to be a doctor or a lawyer, they could inject that from birth. This is all these teachings are out there. If you ever study the Kama Sutra,
Kama Sutra.
yeah, you
No,
ever study,
no,
Kama Sutra.
yeah,
no.
that is a whole teaching in India. You must read up and study that. You was
Listen, to me, you know, sometimes like I find like all these things, right? What it does is create a false sense of reality. Many times, the theory part of things, it can never work. It can never work. Look, as simple as it might sound, right? For instance, we have people sitting in parliament, right? They're supposed to be the experts. They're debating on what is the best step to take to boost the agro industry, right? But then that's just theory.
but
You have a farmer that doing farming, and that farmer could tell you exactly what would work and what would not work. What's the best way forward? So most of the people, Melvin, that are writing these stories and all they're doing is just messing. I
uh,
used to live in Trinidad. You used to live in Trinidad. The people slowly but surely they're moving away from this thing. Right now, you could meet two people in Trinidad, an Indian and a black man in a relationship in Trinidad. When you go in America, you're seeing interracial couples. You go in England, interracial couples.
this
That
way you
never
can
used
get
to happen
rid of racism.
before. Huh?
That is the only way you get rid of
Maitland,
racism.
Call and talk
racism
to
is
me.
very dynamic. Yeah?
Uh-huh.
I have to, because I think if we fully understand what racism is, then we
Uh-huh.
would just get away from thinking that me being with a white woman
Uh-huh.
has nothing to do with racism.
Uh-huh.
You have to understand. Have you ever seen all right, let me track back a bit. We could coexist. A white and a black man, an Indian, Chinese, we could all coexist, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the underlying goal of everybody has an agenda. Everybody has an agenda, and China cannot exist alone. China needs America, even though they're not friends, so to speak. But China needs America, America needs China, right? So it's that symbiotic relationship. No, but you also have to understand that when race it comes first, that is when racism starts. Then when you put your race first, then when you add brutality to racism, is another level. This is what we have now. We have brutality combined with racism.
Racism.
So
Added
when you only narrow down and you say, okay, because we could intermarry outside of our race and we could get along, and and we feel like racism doesn't exist. That is not racism.
racism is the people that have got the 1% that have got the power to change the law and make it be beneficial to their own. That is racism.
Ingram, that is the point I was trying to bring it all because these guys in the parliament, they is only there for we outside here because the person with the store who look like the commissioner of police, they're not representing him. The system and laws is only for we because these fellas,
Barely hearing.
the 1% call the shot. the laws is only for us to control us, and that is it. There's some person above the law. When they catch them, they say they embezzle.
That's what the police are there for. The police are just there to control us, the scum of the earth. That's what the police are for. It's not to protect politicians.
Ingram, I just share Google's definition of racism. You can
Oh God, Google?
Yeah.
Google?
Google. Let's talk about systems. My man's
Check
gone
it
right
out.
to the system.
No. Check out what the racism means. Check out what the racism means.
So, and that is the problem. You see, racism is online.
No. Listen.
Listen.
Yeah.
Me and you, Curl, me and you, we got to dominate the world. Leave these two behind. We go.
Okay.
Here we go.
Let me ask you.
Here we go.
Google, what is the meaning of West Indies?
What?
West Indies.
West Indies. Google, what is the meaning of West Indies? In Latin.
I can do that shortly. But remember, Curlan, you see, I think that's the problem. Both of us have a different perspective of what racism is. Right?
There's only one perspective.
I think that's what the problem
There's only one perspective. There's only one perspective about racism, right? That a black man cannot change the law the way a white man can. That is it. We'll never be able to change the law the way they do.
Oh, Curlan can't hear it.
We cannot change their law.
Huh?
Sir?
You can't hear me?
No, I could hear you, Maitland, but I cannot hear
Ingram.
Yeah, Ingram.
Okay, Curlan, what I think you need to do, I think you need to sign out and come back in.
Let me do that.
Probably Melvin has to do it. And Melvin and Ingram. Melvin, you can hear me?
I hear you clearly.
Okay, he can hear me. So, Curlan, try signing out and come back in.
All right.
Yeah. Now, Ingram.
Yes.
I think the problem exists because we have different perspectives on what racism is, right? I don't honestly.
Different. I could talk about it with my experience as a child growing up in Grenada, in Trinidad,
yeah.
and I could think somebody who live in Europe, like Ingram live in England, he could bring it from a perspective from the white side.
Would you not say that your position is more discrimination rather than racism?
Yes.
And yours would be discrimination, and let's say the laws of the land in America would be racism because it's to benefit a certain set of people.
Right.
And if you as a black man in America can say, you know what, I want that law, and that law changed tomorrow. When you have that kind of power, then we can say there's no racism. Because racism is when another race is got superior privileges to a point where they can impose laws and fines and stop you progressing through their laws and their money, preventing you to progress in your own life, and it be discriminated because of the color of your skin. That is racism. That is racism.
Okay.
When
yeah,
when a color or when a particular mindset is about boosting their color and using their color and their position of power, wealth, and the ability to change law to suppress another race through discrimination, that would be racism. But we as a black people cannot do that because we haven't got that. We have not got that power yet to change the law, to change the laws, to prevent the police brutality, to prevent all the nonsense that's going on in the world at the moment. That is racism. When you are dating a white woman, that doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter.
That does not change the law. That is not me dating a white woman is not going to change police brutality on the street. In case it might make it worse.
Melvin, no, Melvin, Ingram.
No, wait. Now, you, sir, Melvin, I'm not Mr. Melvin, Mr. Maitland. I have to, you're the political man in the room. I want to hear what you talk about racism because you are a Grenadian leader. Now, if you don't understand the concept of racism, there's a huge problem on the island because you are a leader. So we need to.
No. Ingram, listen, yes, right? Listen carefully.
I listen.
In Grenada, who has the authority? Who has the authority in Grenada? Who passes the laws in Grenada?
Stop. Before you even go there, them laws that were there before Chief Mitchell came into power, before the NDC, way back.
Yeah.
What did the people look like in power in Grenada? Talk to me.
Say that again.
Did they look like back in the day in Grenada? Back in the day, back in history, there was a point in time in Grenada where the people didn't look like me and you, did they?
No.
Yeah.
Ingram.
What did they look like?
Ingram, listen to this, sir. Right now in Grenada,
there's no law.
The person that has the authority to change the law, right? And the people that are in authority is people like me, you, Melvin, and Curlin. Right?
The mindset is not the same.
No, hold on. What is the color of the skin of the people in Grenada?
The point is only
no. The law was there before then black people came into power. The law was there before that.
Okay, no, listen. Ingram, no, listen carefully. Now, does Keith Mitchell have the authority to change?
No.
Yes.
But he doesn't.
He has changed the law many times. But to see him,
that is
change the law to benefit the people of the island, yes or no?
No.
Okay,
he has not. No, but here it is. We're speaking about who have the authority to change the law and who have power.
Where does that mindset come from?
Yes, but Ingram, no, listen to what I'm saying. So we have St. George's University in Grenada, right?
Yeah.
And we have Caucasian persons going to St. George's University School of Medicine.
Yeah.
Right?
And
Curlin, when they having problems, when those visitors, those foreigners come into Grenada, they are not the law, right? Or Prime Minister and the police force, right? Now, when they go to the police to report that they're being robbed and so on, right? And they are being refused help, right? There was a situation, I'm not sure if you know about it. There were two white people that were walking Morris Bishop Highway, and they were attacked and robbed. You know who saved them from the two individuals? Colin, you can hear me?
Your mic is real fuzzy.
Stop that.
Distortion.
Not mine.
It's Colin's microphone.
Yeah, Colin, that's your mic.
Watch when I mute you. So I just muted you.
You hear me better now?
We're hearing you now.
See the mute sound's gone? So it's your microphone, the noise. Curlan.
All right, I would have to. Let me leave and log back in again.
Yeah, okay.
Just check, it's just the microphone. It's just a loose connection.
Now, Ingram.
Yes.
Right. So basically what happened? There was a gentleman that came, he went to SGU. He fell in love with Grenada. Remember, right? Okay. He left Grenada, became a doctor, brought back his wife, got married, brought back his wife here to Grenada on honeymoon, right? And when they were walking Morris Bishop Highway, the first thing that had happened to them was they fell into a hole that was on the side of the road. It was uncovered, right? And they were walking in the dark on Morris Bishop Highway and fell into a hole, right? After being bruised, the husband and the wife after being bruised, they tried getting a vehicle. We all know that in Grenada, like after 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, you cannot get public transportation. So they were walking, looking for help, looking for assistance. Cullen,
Yeah.
you there? You listening?
Yes,
Right.
I'm back now. Yeah.
Right. So are you aware of the situation with the gentleman that studied at SGU, fell in love with Grenada, got married, came back here on honeymoon with his wife. They were walking along Morris Bishop Highway, fell into a drain, was uncovered along the sidewalk of the highway. They continued trying to seek help. When they got to the Limes Gap that is on the side of Morris Bishop Highway, they were by two Grenadians. Are you aware, Cullen?
Yes, I remember that.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, good, lovely. So Cullen is aware. So Ingram, listen to what I'm saying. Melvin, listen to what I'm saying. Now, these two tourists went up to one person that they saw, and they thought that he was going to offer some assistance. Remember, they just fell into a drain. They were bruised. They were looking for help, right? Now, this Grenadian national, or wherever this person is from, his skin is as dark as mine, I believe. I'm not sure if he's Grenadian or Vincentian or whatever, but it happened in Grenada, right? What he decided to do, him and the next person, right? They took two cutlasses. One came out from the bush, the next one they took cutlasses. And they tried robbing them. They tried robbing them, Melvin, in their time of distress. And the only reason they probably did not lose their lives is because it was short leg, as on the radio. Colin, just mute your side. Yeah, mute your mic. Right. It was short leg and lava man that were parked in a vehicle and saw what was happening. They stopped the vehicle, they reversed, and they ran out. And that's how the two persons did not continue the attacks on the white people.
But we still.
So let me ask you. Y'all find that was a situation. Again, I call. Hold on,
It's
wow.
Nicholas Steele.
Minister of
Anyway, want to chat to you.
One second.
Yeah, but Ingram, they promote that Grenada is the safest destination in the world. So
Yeah.
these people, when they come here, then believe they could go in the mountain, all about and walk, and nobody will interfere with them because that is what sell out there. That it is safe.
You know what? Let me tell you something. Some of these people, I feel no sympathy for because they come over to Grenada with their stink attitudes and demonic ways. They feel that they're better than everybody else, and they take it and they go up into the mountains and they go into these villages and they walk around like the king and queen. And some people ain't got time for that, and that is where the problems start. Not everybody is tolerant of this nonsense.
Yeah, but the myth selling that it is safe and everything here is rosy and nice is a myth. Because a lot of person, when the incident happened, they talk to them. I thought they said this place is one of this, and then the reality hit them. But that is what been sold.
Listen, I remember when I first came on the island in 2012. No one would have lied. 2012, I was on the island and there was hardly anything promoting the various restaurants, food, transportation across the island. Nothing. So I did a series of videos about shopping and food and transportation. 2012 in Grenada, right? What was going on in Grenada, the videos that were being promoted was about black people serving white people. This is what it was.
But that's still happening.
But no.
So
Melvin and Cullen Ingram. Now, what's happening in the world, right? What's happening in the world, as we said, is disheartening. But everybody, right, should be held accountable. Everybody should be held accountable. There are certain things that I might do something and Melvin would get blamed for it because we have the same complexion. What happened in the past during slavery, right? Some people are upset with the greatest grandchildren of the slave masters.
And there's people that look like us that did it, that sold themselves out. It's still happening.
That's true. That's true.
Right.
And the thing is, we need to move forward. Right? We need to move forward. Not every time we see a white person, we should say, "Oh, you know what? I did history in school, and look, it brought us across the journey of the Great Triangle and whatever, and they had us on the Amistad and whatever." To my knowledge, there's no person alive right now that was there when the situations were going on from 1801 and 71.
Right. When we change the laws to bring equality, laws that suit us, to bring equality, to bring the right justice for us, when we can have the same rights that they are entitled to, have the same privileges that they have, and have the same justice system that they have, then we're all equal. Then you can sit down and say there's no racism and all that stuff. Until that time, the fact of the matter is, the laws are in place to suit a certain minority of people, and because of that, and as long as that is the case, and as long as we continue to serve into that belief system that this is the way, this is the only way they have the power and we have no power, as long as we serve that, as long as we believe that their money is more powerful than our money, as long as we believe that their media is more important than our media, as long as we believe that their business is more important than our business, as long as we believe that their God is more important than our God, as long as we have that belief, or we share those values, we will never be able to move forward because we'll be just repeating patterns over and over again. As long as we keep believing that we're going to go and get justice from these people, the same thing is going to happen. What has to happen is there has to be a change of mindset.
Remember, Ingram, I didn't say it doesn't exist, right? I didn't say it doesn't exist. I said, yes, it does exist. And I said, the reason why it exists is because of the mindsets of people. That's why it exists, right? Because we continue to allow it.
First, we don't, it's not the mindset of the people. We destroy certain laws which are allowed to be permissible at the moment. Or we add stricter laws, meaning the police officer that decided to do what he did, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. You take a life, your life must be taken. The death sentence. You take a life, prepare to see yourself be executed. The death sentence. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. You take a life, or we can take your life.
Yeah.
Wait.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
That is one way of stopping it.
Because you do that, that's the first start. Justice. You killed this person. Okay, you need to see death as well. And if enough times that happens, then there may be a rethink.
I agree with that, right? But what I'm saying is, can
we have that? Can we have that? Can we demand that?
Yeah, we could demand it. We could demand it.
Really?
Yeah, really? Yeah. Some of the comments, I need to look at some of the comments.
Yeah, I'm watching the comments. We could demand it, right? Now think of it this way. Curlan, think of it this way, right? In order to react to what has happened, we are giving the police an excuse to take more lives. It's as simple as that. That's all that happening. They're giving them an excuse to take more lives. People attacking the police up there. Was not every police officer that did whatever. Was 4 police officers. Yes, Curlan, sorry.
That is 4, but several.
Unmute.
Unmute, Curlan.
several persons before that incident lost a family member with the police and had an incident with the police. So
Yes.
it's not just that. That is just, if you check right now, incidents that happened 3 and 4 years ago, people posted it now. So, because at the time it wasn't important, but now all this information about, you can just see one somebody showing when the police handcuffed this guy and have a dog back biting the man's leg in 2018.
Melvin, let me
All
ask you something, huh? How you feel? I am in no way of trying to trivialize the situation with Mr. Floyd and Eric Garner, Tamir Rice, and all these people. I'm not trying to trivialize it, right? But how do you feel about police officers that have been killed by black assailants for no
well,
reason?
a friend of mine is a good friend. Me and she did art together. We did art history. And she told me in one of my posts, I post something with a girl.
Mm-hmm.
The girl have a bone or something in she eye and it grow all the way out.
Mm-hmm.
The nose and she mouth. And
Mm-hmm.
she from somewhere in Gambia. And this missionary went to Africa from England as a doctor, and he brought up the mother and her back to England to see if they could get help for her. So she's telling me, Melvin, you're posting all these things on how they're killing black men, a lot of black men. But look, you're posting something where a white man take a black girl and trying to help her. What you really doing? And I simply tell them, watch, everybody, whether white or black, have to live in this world. This little girl need help. He doing a good deed.
Yeah.
That have nothing, because I am not into this racist thing. So
Mhm.
the ending up of it, there's good police officers and there's bad police officers. But if the police continue killing people, you're going to get. But within the same blacks, there is gangs in America that's shooting up one another. Up to now, you don't know who killed Tupac, you don't know who killed Biggie. The same
Yeah.
thing happened here. You see a youth man, right, on top of a car, firing shots in the air in a
Yes.
community.
Yes.
Let's understand the head of the church in Grenada living in that community. There's a pastor in that community. Who you could have a man doing something like that because he's a supporter of you. Come on, man. So just the same way, you have black girls calling one another niggers and
Yes.
dog and dog and,
Yeah.
and, and, and all them rapper, me and the crib, and all these stupidness and feeding this information because your child or my child listening to these guys and them.
Yeah.
And information and the language, you change the language and passing down to these kids. We're not be so trying to see if I can empower them kids by learning martial arts, get them to start to think and to be disciplined to go out in the world and make themselves something and to be self-sufficient. You have a man rapping on a man and telling you what crib and dog and his pants below. You understand? Tattoo all over his face. And he's a role model. One and Mabel, and then you see a set of little black girls. As you turn on BT or Tempo, cock up upside down whining, and even them Jamaican thing. Is so it comes the same way with the police. The police now have to deal with that. They are the pit bull, they're selling the drugs, the big chain around the neck. So that is an issue. Okay? Now it's a clash now between the negative and the positive right now. Because there is some gay guys getting into the force and want to be prison officers to practice the nastiness. And then you also have some right-wing guys or Ku Klux guys become police officer within the
Yeah.
same. So there's a negative within a good thing. And this is the problem you have it. And then you have now a constitution. When this constitution was written, it was written for us. It was written for the independence of America at the time. After the civil rights movements or whatever it is, George Washington and the right of Constitution, but it wasn't for us. And there's a lot of things in that constitution need to come out because up in that constitution, I show they have us as slaves.
Hear this, huh? Let me ask each of y'all a serious question, right? The death of Floyd, right? Do y'all believe that no matter who the police officer was, if it was a different set, a different 4 police officers from the Minneapolis PD, y'all believe the outcome would have been the same? If it was 4 different, any 4? What do you think, Malvon? You think it would have been the same outcome?
No, not everybody's the same.
Right.
Not everybody is the same.
Right.
Okay.
So his mindset, no matter if it was 4 other white police officers.
But the persons that sat around there with the telephone videotaping the issues,
yeah,
these people are just as bad as the police officer.
I agree with that.
At least the information get out. That's what me and you could be conversing now.
Yeah.
Because these things been happening a lot of years. But
yeah,
these people day and then should have started protesting. From day and then they should have dragged these men off. If these men are to pull the firearm, okay?
Yeah.
You deal with these men. But people get so selfish.
Yes.
They only care about themselves and Instagram and what prize they could win. Nobody don't care about any. You see the man put his knee down on the man and he hand in his pocket and he take a pose like the white guy the guy that went in Africa and killed the lion. Take a picture of him, he win a trophy. Okay? He killed a lion, he killed an elephant. Okay? Or a guy cut down a big tree. A tree that was around for the last 1,000, 2,000 years. You just cut down the tree. Okay? And that tree and this is and somebody take a picture of that, they make a documentary about it and you pose. But you come just as a police officer, you have the same ideology just as him. It's sad.
Not me. What do you say? You have the same ideology.
My message, imagery, how I put it across, and not point in general. Just imagine the person who cut down a tree or kill a turtle, kill a whale, the value of a whale on a turtle and that tree, the amount of carbon dioxide that's coming out from a tree for the last 500 years, the last 1,000 years, and you just born, you just have 30 years in this world, you take up a chainsaw and cut it down.
You see,
there's no respect for things you meet or things, even if the birds around you. You know how happy I just feel to see a bird fly through the house and fly back out? Or you see a butterfly or a milebone, a bee land on you?
So you believe everything have a purpose and live and
yes.
Right. Now, you see, the reality of a life now, the reality of life is and I agree, live and let live. But the reality of life now, you have a lot of people, just as you and I and Ingram and Kurlan, just as we trying to do better with our lives, and we trying to lift the chin of the black man. There are persons who are engaging in illegal activities and they taking that away from us.
Yeah, but you see, because we continuously put in criminal in charge of us. Look the person who leading the great United States. This man had casino and is all type of life this man living. The guy the person running here from day one, it's all kind of activities, these things these guys involved in. And you continue. Just imagine religious people voting a criminal to lead you.
Mhm.
All these pastors and
Not only vote for him, because voting is in the closed ballot. They actually standing in public with him as well.
forget that. But the point is, you put in somebody. When you take your finger and vote for somebody, that is the reason you see me. I only vote about 2 or 3 times in my life, you know. And I
Yeah.
don't. And honest to God, I don't know if I might register. I might have an ID card. But the point, when you take your finger and dip it in that ink and you put it there, you put that man in charge of your life. And this same man, this same man, living all kind of funny life and doing all kind of illegal activity. Just imagine you have a police force, you know, and the police force cannot do the work. You train a man going, he signed up for me, did an exam. He went to police school. He went through the ranks. For years, he go through all these things. And a man come in office, okay, work wherever he is outside, and he put up himself as a politician, like Donald Trump. Donald Trump make a joke and he's president. No, this man now become the leader of the country. And all the training you have boil down to nothing. Because you only said, yes, sir, no, sir. Yes, sir, no, sir. Kill, bury. And that is what you control. So which means you stand for nothing.
Mm-hmm. You see, Donald Trump, as president, Ingram, Kurlan back, Kurlan say Adam back. Donald Trump, as the president of the United States, as the commander in chief, met with some police officers and told them that you see these things that you do when you put in your hands to put the people on the people head to put them in the police vehicle. I'm saying you could remove those hands, right? So he basically went to the police officers and told them that it's okay to just push people in the vehicle. If they hit their head, that's their business. It doesn't matter, right?
My point is, who gave him that privilege?
Well, I mean,
You talking about a man that went to military school and studied. He studied criminology, human behavior. He studied how to arrest a man, a method of approach. You all Maitland become the Prime Minister of Grenada and use the Minister of National Security. Come telling me who trained for the last 40 years in martial arts. Okay? You can't even fool your fist to pop a bag. Come in and tell me now how to fight. This is the problem we have in. That is a so which meaning you representing me, okay? And I am more knowledge. I am there's a lot of police officers out there. I am telling you. I watch them arrest a man in the lines, and them fellas need training. Okay?
Yeah.
They'll see me come on. They might have a gun, they might put a bullet in me. But the point is, you don't, this guy, the method of approach and how they go about doing things, you will always get resistance. You need to have proper people dealing with your issues. And we keep on, this is the step we're making. You can't take a carpenter and put in a kitchen to cook. Or
yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can. That's what you've got in your Grenada government. You can. And you will. And you continue to do it.
And not just
do it. It's possible. You see the ramifications of it. So you can do it. It's very possible, Melbourne.
Yeah, it could.
It's possible. But if you have to do it, we have done it.
And that is a history. This is a history.
You see, Caroline, you left. What I'd ask the question, do you believe that if there were 4 different officers, right, of a different race, possibly in the same situation with the man in Minnesota, do you believe that it would have had the same result?
Okay, well, that's a difficult question. All right, so which police officer is the one that puts his foot on the gentleman's neck? A black, white, what?
The Ku Klux Klan.
He was white.
All right. So in your scenario, that let's say it's 4 different people of different races, but the white person was the one that have this knee on this man's neck.
Okay. Let me start over.
Based on your scenario. I just want to get
we're not even reaching there yet. What I would say is, let's imagine it was 4 different white police officers first. 4 different white police officers that are employed. Do you believe there's a guarantee that the result would have been the same? 4 different white police officers.
No.
No guarantee.
No.
What do you think? You think it's a guarantee that the results would have been the same?
Let me ask the same question. The same question. Kellan,
you ain't have faith in people, boy. You ain't have faith. Kellan didn't have no faith.
Kellan.
No.
Yeah, one.
Okay, you ever heard about the Buffalo Soldiers?
Yes.
The Buffalo Soldiers?
Right. You could put that in that same bracket.
Yeah.
This was slave, they're free.
Yep.
And they wanted them to get the former platoon called Buffalo Soldiers.
Yeah.
When they do so, these guys, the American soldiers, they didn't want them. These guys end up going to France. And these guys and them help America win the Civil War also.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So these guys was never treated the way that how the ordinary white soldiers would have. No, the black police officer, if it's a black police officer that did that, you know, see how did that come down? And everything them do, they had to be perfect. The same way that makes us wrong. But you see who do it. These are not all, again, not all the white guys are them. As you say like that.
They suspended a black police officer because he said more black people should die.
Wow.
You understand? So it's not only the white officers, some of the black officers as well, doing the same thing to people of their race. So is it really a problem with white against blacks? Or is it police against civilian? What is it really? Or is it just mine?
It's none of it. It's a system that is in place that they are adhering to and following. Because it's happening across the whole of the United States. Okay? Just like I said to you, there's a system with law. There is one rule for us and another rule for them. That's why every time it comes to the justice system, it's the people that are celebrities or the people that are celebrities that are of one color and another color. When it comes to being treated, Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein. Example.
Ingram, it had an issue here.
I agree.
It had an issue here.
What's the issue?
It happened on Friday. This guy used to go around selling clothes in St. Paul's. Pick up a little black girl, marry her. The parents didn't know. He married the girl, Islam. The girl, it was a Friday around 12. The girl decided, like normal local person, I done with you. So she leave and she gone. He called her, they had a child together and tell her to come and see to take care of the child because he had no XYZ. I won't go into more detail. What this guy did, his nephew sat down with the child in the drawing room and they was watching television. Take the girl inside the room, slit her throat, bust behind her foot and hang up in the roof. Her blood drain in the bathroom. Buy bleach and clean the house and whatever it is. Now, he took the body around 2 in the morning. That time no change. Wrap up in a carpet and drop her in Bacalet. The morning when he gets up, take a plane, head to Barbados, head to England, Grenada contacted Barbados, boom, boom. They pick him up in England. England make an agreement to Grenada. Okay, you have capital punishment in your book. So if we send back this man here, you have to guarantee us you would not hang him. So he come back here, but he spent about 8 years in prison. When this man come out of prison, instead of this man was deported back to where he come out, he was given a citizenship still. And is on the street.
Grenadian citizenship.
And he's on the street now. And he have his store and living a normal life. I wouldn't get him more because of what. You understand? But I'm just trying to show you, as I asked them, how much of our people, if you're going to prison, only out right now, this week, news, St. Vincent must be sent close to 100% to Canada to plant marijuana. And we is boasting in the news. We catch how much person with cannabis. We is boasting in the news about that. Okay? And here is why the first place to legalize marijuana and to plant marijuana they've come to. And this is it. And this is the type of things I'm talking about. How much white person smoking the same drugs who come here to study in the same university? How much of them will be arrested and going up there? It's only our tribe.
Because we've got to stop thinking that we are them, because we've got their qualifications, because we've got their, we go to the same university as them, because we may go to the same bar and the same club as them, or we may have them as friends. That's where it stops. We are not them. We are not accepted by them. And if we were accepted by them, there would be equality. There is not equality in this world. Therefore, we need to think differently. The reason why we're getting our arse whooped all around the world is because we're still expecting equality from these people. And there is no equality because they don't see us as human beings. They see us as animals. Okay? And we continue to suck up to this system, and they keep spitting us out and rejecting us all the time. And the rejection in the way that we're seeing around the world, people getting shot, people getting killed, injustice in the world. And until we say to ourselves, you know what, enough is enough. You don't want us, we need to go and do our own thing.
Malvern, Ingram, Curlan, the people that are responsible for locking up whosoever uses marijuana, they are responsible for just that, right? Now, you can't expect a person, a foreigner, to come in Grenada, go and smoke marijuana, and then go and present themselves to the prison to get locked up because they committed a crime, right? Now, it's the people that hear the police in Grenada when they find out that those persons, those foreigners come and they use an illegal drug, they're supposed to lock them up.
But the police are corruptible. The police are corruptible and they like money.
No, they are. But what I'm saying is, that doesn't mean that there's no equality, right? All that means that corruption exists. Corruption that exists. And the police that are responsible for locking up those people.
The corruption is allowed to exist, therefore there's still inequality. When you make an excuse for it, you're making an excuse. That is an excuse. As far as I'm concerned, there's inequality because it's allowed to be inequality. If the government says, you know what, we're not having this no more, if you act in a corrupt manner, you're gone. You're gone, or you get the death sentence.
Next point.
Wait. Let me hold you there a second. Let me hold you there for 1 second. You think you could go to these Islamic countries and act anyhow, any way? What would happen? They'll chop off your arm. They'll kill you.
Yeah.
They'll send you in prison. So you have to behave a certain way. And if you're going to do your nonsense, make sure you do it behind closed doors and make sure you don't get caught. How many stories have you heard of people traveling, foreigners traveling from Europe and America and going to these Islamic countries trying to get away, do the same nonsense they get away with in Europe and America? What happens to them?
Listen, in China, right? One of the shows that we did In China, when they had this outbreak of the COVID-19, we spoke about the video where what appeared to be the marketplace. It had about 3 or 4 Chinese people that were beaten at a black male. Melvin, you remember that?
Yeah.
Right. What did they do? They just stood and they just looked, right? About 3 black men passed. They were much taller than the Chinese people. They did not intervene. They just looked at the Chinese people beating the black man in the place that seemed to be a market. It was only one black man that had passed and decided to try to put some peace.
A woman,
right?
a black woman.
But at the end of the day, is what we accept as people. Is what we accept as people.
Right? Mugabe's another example. When Bush and Blair were trying to get into Zimbabwe and talk their nonsense, what did Mugabe say? We don't want you. We don't want you. We don't want you guys. Get out. Mugabe said their way.
Yeah, we said we independent.
Melvin, what about the African minister? Curl, and I show you what I seen it on Facebook. The African minister that just closed down a Chinese barber shop in Africa, whichever part of Africa, because they were refusing to cut the hair of black people.
Gambia.
Right. So this minister did that. He closed down their shop. He revoked the license, right?
Good.
He did not accept it. He didn't accept it. But if we have people like Keith Mitchell that is saying to the Grenadian people that what was the man, Suzori or whatever, the Silver Sands man, that he could the Physical Planning Act, the laws of Grenada.
So
he has money, right?
Remember, Keith said we're too damn ungrateful.
He did. And imagine
we're too damn ungrateful.
We have a prime minister that has said that we need Suvari, of whatever his name is, the Egyptian billionaire. We need him because he has money, and there are other countries that he could go to. So obviously, because he has money, he could break the laws.
He's
right?
a billionaire.
Yes.
That is not, to me, that's not racism. That is just corruption.
That is, but wait, that's immoral behavior from an immoral man. We don't have to go any further. We don't have to go into private life.
And that's exactly what it is.
So there you go.
At the end of the day,
that's the reason Abu Bakr said we don't have a democracy. The word is hypocrisy. Abu Bakr quotation.
but hear this. We have a democracy, but we're not exercising that democracy. We're not exercising it. And like most people would tell you, it's like muscles. If you're not exercising your muscles, eventually you would lose it.
Come in the room, man.
Colin, let's hear you. Let's hear you.
All right. So first off, you mentioned Soros, the Egyptian billionaire that has Silver Sands.
Yeah.
First of all, have anyone done an investigation to see if he funded Dr. Mitchell's campaign during his election campaign?
Well, we left that up to the FIU. We actually asked them to look into it to make sure that the monies were legally obtained. But I can't even say to our greatest shock, nothing was done. Nothing was done. So you can go ahead. That's the answer.
Okay. The reason why I mentioned
in Hopkins funeral, you're going to hear that.
Sorry, say that again.
I said when he's died, because in Hopkins funeral, we heard how much money Hopkins was paying.
Oh, okay.
So when he died,
we'll hear it. Okay, but I'm not saying that is the situation or not. I don't know. I'm just saying based on my understanding of politics. And I'll link it back to racism and how that works. Now, if the hand that pays rules, right? If I'm as a black leader, I'm accepting money from people outside my race, I'm obligated to repay them, whether in cash or kind, right? So where is privilege? the fact that he's a billionaire and his white privilege is allowing him to have a say in how he's treated in Grenada as an investor, right? Racism, as I said, is a power dynamic.
Amen.
So let's put racism first. As his privilege, he could use racism, because remember, racism is not about killing and dislike and no, it's about power.
Yes. But Curlan, let me just ask a question. If you were an Egyptian billionaire or an African billionaire or an African American billionaire
that was banned from America and banned from Europe and banned from Canada.
Do you think, Curlan, that you would have been granted the same privilege of breaking the Grenadian laws as this man was?
Well, if I'm funding the campaign of a politician, and which is what business people and investors do, then they're obligated to take care of me. I believe that I would not be on the top list, because remember, Grenada has not established official ties with African countries. Why is that? They're billionaires in Africa.
So, Curlan, you can continue, but just bringing across the point that in that case, it's not just about white privilege, but it's just about the money, the monetary value of what could be gained.
Yes, but also
it have to do with racism too, because
exactly
it have a lot of billionaires in Africa.
Okay, hold on a second. Farrakhan came to Grenada back in 2013, I believe, and he met with 12 Mitchell.
Yeah.
Who?
Right?
Who?
Farrakhan, Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Yeah.
Met with Mitchell in 2013, yeah?
Yeah.
What did Mitchell take away from meeting with Farrakhan in terms of the economic blueprint for Grenada?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Because that was a key moment for Grenada to make changes. The nation were in Grenada. The big hitters of the nation were in Grenada at the time. So if there was going to be any sort of reform and change for the better Grenada to educate the minds of the Canadians, that was the moment of time for it to happen. It did not happen. So that tells you what your island is about, what your leadership is about. It's not about the man rising. It's about keeping the man suppressed. That's what it's about.
I totally agree. Now, mind you, I don't think that it ever won the spirit of Maurice Bishop or the revolutionary spirit of all the leaders that we have had in the past. I don't think that our leadership won that to resurrect, especially with you see the demise of the revolution. Some of them love that, because what it would have done, the revolution would have taken away their privilege,
their power
in Grenada, their power and privilege. So, say for instance, right, in Grenada, the revolution was about equality. So one man can have 10 mangoes and the next man's struggling to get one, right? The revolution was seeking to equalize, well, not equalize, sorry, to level, put everyone, most people on a level playing field.
To level
but a lot of people who already had assets and power didn't want to share power. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
They didn't want to share it. So that is why I'm saying the reason why the Minister Louis Farrakhan's vision for the Caribbean, because it was a Caribbean tour that he did.
Yeah.
They would not want that to resurrect in Grenada.
He wasn't coming to Grenada, right? Grenada was not on the map for him.
He was not on the tour?
No. That's how I know. He was not due to be coming to Grenada. We'll talk about that some other time. He wasn't due to be coming to Grenada.
Okay. But you understand the point that I just made?
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the things I realized, I did a couple lectures on Black history, and I realized that there were undercover police officers there at the meeting.
You need to turn your volume up. You're very quiet. You're very quiet, Curlan. Your volume's low.
But, all right. You hear me better now?
No, you're still quiet. Whispering.
All right. You hear me better now?
He's making himself ready for bed, boy.
Oh, boy. No, hear me now?
Better.
Better. Okay.
Yes.
Just to further my point, I remember I did a lecture on Black history, and I saw undercover agents, undercover police officers at the meeting, and I was wondering why. Like, it's just an educational meeting. It wasn't like, we are planning a revolution. It was just an open forum. Why is it that they had to attend? Also, I also facilitated a lecture with David Mohammed, which is a regional representative for Farrakhan.
Yes, David Mohammed, very well as well, brother David. Trinidadian, yes, very well.
Yeah, we're good. And he came here and I facilitated that lecture.
I hear still, I just taking off the camera for a bit.
Okay, I gave the introduction to him, and there were undercover agents there, and I'm wondering, why is it that they need to be there? But it came to my mind that they do not want that revolutionary spirit to spark, because they know that their privilege will be disrupted, and a lot of those privileges come from the lines. Huh?
Could there be another revolutionary spirit or rise in Grenada? If it happened, what would happen?
No, I don't see that at this point in time, because the preparation has to be made in order to start that revolution. And to be honest with you, our youth they are so blinded. It's we have to just say that they're lost. A lot of them are lost. Some we can say.
It might have to be. It may end up by a group of people from the outside coming in, rather than relying on people on the inside.
The revolution
leadership.
Ingram. The revolution.
Leadership.
The revolution. What is happening is like what happened in Trinidad. In Trinidad, we had people like Dr. Ike Williams. We had this Comitori and Cyril James and all these guys. These guys kill the Black Power movement, even the Pan-African. They kill it. And what pop up out of that? The youths turn into gang violence and crime. That is our next revolution. This is what creeping in inside of here right now. The prison system will be overcrowded because you cannot suppress people for long. Because the country, look, these fellas gone up in Massachusetts and cut down a set of mangrove, damage a set of wildlife. Okay? And all you could hear a minister saying is sorry, they make a mistake. But could you replace a tree? Could you replace the duck where was there? What prison sentence could we give to this man a punishment? You can't say sorry. You have destroyed billions of dollars of nature, and all you could say is sorry.
But who gave him permission to do so? Who gave him permission? Just as our Silver Sand project was built.
They have 15 seats. They could do that. They could do that. This is what them guys are saying now. They could do that. They could do whatever they feel like. This is what these men are not saying. They are here to represent us and to make the country better. You take a nature park and you destroy it.
I suspect that Keith Mitchell is just a puppet. And the problem is the person behind Keith Mitchell is the same person or same mindset that is beating these people or black people on the streets. It's the same mindset that has got the racism and the racism within the media, within the businesses. It's the same wicked mindset. And we stop looking at Keith Mitchell and look at the real problem of the mindset and the cancer that is behind our black leadership that's telling them what to do, which is causing our people to be the way that they are. It's got nothing to do with Keith Mitchell. It is to do with a higher force, a sixth higher force. And the faster we get to understand that our educational system is poisoned with it, that our media is poisoned with it, that our food is poisoned with it, that our diets are poisoned with it, things that are poisoned with it, and we have to have our own system, then we will come to the understanding of it. No more excuses. No more excuses. We keep pacifying by making excuses. And I don't want to hear no more testifying. I don't want to hear nobody saying, oh, well, it's because of this and because of that. Let's try and get together. Let's try and work in harmony. That's done. That's why we still have these problems around the world. Because we're still trying to have harmony and work together with these devils. And devils, I mean, let me clarify this for the last time. Devils, I mean, is a mindset, not a skin color. A mindset.
Yeah. We sometimes focus on the puppet and not the puppet master.
Correct. You know? Now, if you take out the puppet master, then we'll see. But we're too small. We're too small-minded with that.
These guys gone so far. They asked China for a development plan for Grenada. China
are gonna. If we're not careful, China will end up enslaving us. And guess what? We'll go back to how slavery began in the first place, with our own people enslaving ourselves by giving ourselves up. Just as it happened then, we'll have our own leadership giving us over to China. Wait. History repeats itself unless there's something there to break the cycle.
Yeah, tell her to ask her to mute his typing coming through his device.
That was not mine. That was on Curlan's side.
Oh, they see it.
Technical.
Let me hear what you got to say about this.
Okay. Read it.
Looks like he's gone. What is there? Curlan?
Yeah, I'm here.
Let me hear what you're saying.
Okay. In furthering your point, Peter, and I just wanted to link it back to Grenada's revolution. The lack of leadership. We had leadership backing the revolution. We had people that were willing to put aside their own personal agenda to see the country move forward. Right? Now, we also back in the revolution. The Grenada Revolution wasn't a revolution only for Grenada. You know? The reason why the revolution crumbled is because we have America saying that you cannot have a small nation in Grenada in this recent time being able to have a successful revolution and actually forming the blueprint that other nations, other black nations could now copy and do the same. Right? Fast forward today, we have lost our revolutionary spirit, and now we are allowing other people of other nations to dictate how we develop. That has always been the plan.
Yeah, because the opportunity for us was to receive billions of dollars for every bullet, every bomb, every person that lost a life here when that invasion take place. These guys allow it to happen, collect $40 million on a blank check, however it is, it must be given. And today now you're going about around the world begging. When the opportunity
is still crackling.
Yeah.
You have to mute your microphone if you're not talking, Curlan.
You're not hearing him.
Yeah,
so what?
Right. Go ahead.
Yeah. After the invasion, these guys supposed to pay for damage here, and we allow these guys to get away with it. Okay? So therefore, we have to go all around the world, just begging. When you had the opportunity, people, you think somebody could come and just blow up your house, shoot your wife, shoot your children, and just pack up and go from here just so? This is what happened with us. And these are the same guys. You know, all these guys consume the belly full. Them don't care about you. Look, this corona going on here now. Grenada receive a set of grants. And like they plan this thing, because the day they say they're locking down, all you hear in the week before, how much money being applied for and this and that. This money disappear. And to date, them busmen and them making noise because they want the busmen now to carry less passengers than before because of COVID for people to maintain the safe distance. But you don't want to pay them for it. You want them to continue running the same, and you still want them to pay the bank. You still don't want to pay the VAT. You still don't want them to take care of the family. You understand? And you receive money for COVID. What you do with the money? This is the problems we have in. Yeah. Guys, we are about 3 hours here now. We have to continue this. Put back on Colin.
Tell Earl that.
I love this conversation, but yeah. But no. I like this conversation because this is probably what started the revolution.
Hey yo, you want these channels to get shut down by YouTube or what? That's a two-way joke there, by the way. That's a two-way joke.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, look. I know that we don't see eye to eye when it comes to racism, but I would just like to say that racism affects us whether we think it does or not. It does affect us, and we can narrow it down to our political issues that we have here. Racism has a hand in it, and if our leaders are, because I don't take part in politics, right? I'm very objective when it comes to politics. But if we have leaders who do not have the backbone and vision, then we would always be in this situation because they could easily be persuaded and bribed to pursue the agenda of another country or someone of another race. Also, lastly, with all the grants that Grenada gets, right? There's no such thing as a free lunch. And I believe that with these grants, there are things attached to it.
Vaccine.
And I think especially during Ivan, and I observed during Ivan. Before Ivan, I remember just using coconut oil, or natural local coconut oil. After Ivan, obviously we got assistance from America and other countries, and our market was flooded with foreign products. And then we neglect our local products. Now, this is not the first time that has happened.
And we not name oil.
And I believe that whenever our country is giving grants, they themselves are looking after their own agenda, and they're saying, look, here's what, we're going to assist you, but you need to open up your markets to us so that we could flood you with products that particularly we don't even want. And I think that's the situation at present. Everything that we get for free comes with conditions.
Yeah.
And those conditions, those conditions, I mean, we were poor, so we're going to accept it, and we're going to accept the conditions. And that has been Grenada's downfall.
You're correct. They've gone so far. We received $20 million, I think, for the development of women. That when Tillman at the most in office. And one of the conditions is to avoid fishing, I think, is from Woba to Modern or something like that. Make it a no fishing zone. So when you do that, you're talking about places like Calis and all them places, the whole fishing industry. How these guys go live? Because if you grow up and that is all you know, how you going to survive? So how you can make an agreement to create a no fishing zone in your country? So how people will live? How these guys? Because most of the persons we have here is laborers, not skilled persons. 3/4 is laborers, it's fishermen, helpers, farmers, housekeepers, bartenders, waitress. Most of the managers come from abroad. The real people, this manager of the kitchen, even if you have a top person, but they always have a person with a higher skin color over them in the kitchen. So therefore, now, when you outsource all these things, what become of us? How you must end up with a job problem in the long run. And you receive money to do that. You understand? So this, and then there is a question asking who these guys really representing. Yeah. Wow. Okay. I see what they're trying. Yeah, well, I support that. We can't look at the color. Everybody have the same issues, whether white, black, red, yellow, even Indians.
Yeah, this is nice. This is nice. But the bottom line is this.
Yeah.
That does not. Those pictures are nice. They look nice and they're great to look at. But that's not going to change the law. That is to pacify us. That is not going to change the law. That is not going to stop people being shot and killed and injustice on our streets. That is just pacifying us, and we're good for pacifying. We're good for Black Lives Matters and organizations like this. It's to pacify us. And when we look at who runs these organizations, we look at the deeper who's funding it, it's the same people that are funding it are more likely the same people that allow these laws to continue. Right? So the pacifying has to stop. It has to stop. We have to stop looking and going, oh, you know, this is nice. This person's supporting us. That person's supporting us. What we really want, if you really want real change, is for those people to say, you know what? Enough. We're going to stop killing you. We're going to start treating you like human beings.
We need to do a 40 million man march.
That's not going to do nothing.
No,
you can march for 100 million men. Does it change the law? No.
You're doing it to change it. You're not doing it one day. You're doing it to change the law.
It don't change the law. How many people were marching up and down the streets all the time? When Sandra Blanc died, did it change the law? When Trayvon Martin died, did it change the law? Did it change the law? Okay. Then my case is closed then. Until when somebody dies, the law is changed where a police officer, when they take a life, their life is taken. Until that law is changed, they don't care. Then if they don't care, then we're in a danger zone.
Who next?
Exactly. Another protest, another banner, another group, another Facebook group, another person on CNN saying, oh, Black Lives Matter, what are we going to do about it? Or are we going to say, you know what, enough. You know what? We're going to take our money out of your banks. You know what? We're not doing business with you no more. You know what? We ain't buying your newspapers no more. You know what? We're not watching your TV no more. You know what? We're not watching your Hollywood movies that do us no favors. We're not watching that no more. You know what? We are taking our business elsewhere. We're going where we're loved and looked after and cared for.
Well, then
is it better not to invest in people that love and care for you than to invest in people that hate you? I don't understand it. It's like hitting your head against a brick wall, expecting the brick wall to move. That's what we're like. Smashing your head against a brick wall, expecting the brick wall to move. That's why there's a bulldozer around. Because the bulldozer knocks the wall over. That's what the bulldozer is created to do. Get a big ball and knock the wall over. But no, we think, as black people, if we smash our head against the wall, eventually the wall's going to move. Doing the same old things over and over and over again, expecting different results. See, if we're going to bulldoze the wall over, or we take ourselves and say, you know what, that wall can stay where it is. We can go somewhere else. We're not welcome here. We'll go somewhere else. Why is it if you go into a shop and you get treated badly, you leave the shop and go, you know what, I'm not doing business with you no more because I didn't like your customer service. And we leave. Go to the mechanic. The mechanic doesn't do a good job. We leave. We go elsewhere. But yet we keep going back to the people same thing over and over and over. These people same thing over and over again, expecting justice, expected to be treated right, when they clearly don't care about us. Gentlemen, over to you.
Yeah. So, we had to continue after.
Dolan?
Yep.
Final word with you.
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
Where is he? Oh God, where'd he go?
Where you gone?
He disappeared. I don't know. You there?
Oh,
There he is.
yeah, I'm there.
Don't
Yeah,
Yeah. This.
yeah.
Go ahead, Colin.
I agree with everything that you said, Ingram. And trust me, I think it's sad that in 2020 we're still trying to figure out what racism is and how it functions and how it affects us. It's sad. It's really, really sad. And what's also depressing is that I know there are certain riots that happen after a killing, and those riots are not really started by Black people. The system starts the riots, and then now we join into those riots, and then now we're the villains now. So the media is there to see, oh, look at these people, they're rioting, they're destroying their communities. But a lot of the times, they didn't start the riots. We have to understand that that system is so well organized, and they understand the psychology of the people that they're dealing with, that they know that if they push this button, they're going to get this reaction.
But the thing about the system is it doesn't change. It's the same old.
It's the same. Exactly. It never changes. As a matter of fact, it evolves sometimes to get worse.
But Colin, President Obama passed a bill, the Terrorism Act, I think it was in 2014. Which where they know one day the people going to rise up against the state. Okay? And they will have to introduce martial law. And that is something will happen. It's just a matter because America can't continue going the way it's going. America is becoming what they call a communist state. Places like Russia and China more swinging capitalism, communism. But America more and more becoming a communist state. Because if those police and them, the action how they're taking and how they're operating is a communist kind of style. Capitalism is nowhere there anymore. And it's going to get worse because they hold back and they have the firearm there. It's just a command they have to get, like in South Africa, and they just spray down them people. That's all. But then people ready. They have the men and sniper on the roof and everything. And what you set up? What you set up? And it's going to escalate. It got calmed down, but it's going to pop back up again. And it'll be more worse than that. And it's sad. And it's also going to happen within the Caribbean also. It's just a matter of time. You can have a man put up himself for office for 40 years in office. You can't have these things happening.
Oh, you sound like you muted or something. You muted yourself.
Right. Cullen, based on what you're saying, they know what buttons to push, right? So you're correct. And the reason why all of this continuing, like I said, is because we are allowing it to continue. And basically what is happening, the buttons that they are aware to push, right? We need to educate ourselves and know not to play exactly as they want us to play that game, right? It's like a game of chess. So basically what happened, right? They making about they're playing for 5 steps ahead. They move the knight, they move the queen, they move the rook, and then we just playing into what they had expected. So maybe, as I was saying, we need to change the reaction.
It's only a game. Once you understand, it's just a game. That's it. It's a game.
The woman that started it, and then the men follow. If you follow these things, the women are making the noise, the women are them up in armor. Then do the destruction. Even
in some cases,
Women representing leaders. Look at the Prime Minister of Barbados.
Yeah.
Look how she's standing out in front of these men.
You
All
see,
these people that beat them much years and say this doctor, this and that, all this, the Rav Gonzal and this. Look at the Barbadian Prime Minister and BBC News. I look at the level of conversation. She's even in the UN. She's speaking on Barbados' behalf, but the message is regionally wide. Even a speech from New Year's Day to Barbados and her Christmas Eve speech. Up to now, our Prime Minister hasn't given us a Christmas Day speech. Her speech, they put it up on GIS.
you see, the thing is, at the end of the day, things like these will continue because of bad decisions, because of maladministration, because of mindsets, and all of these things allow corruption to continue.
So this is the generation of Columbus, you bitch.
Yeah, Frank White. You see, and I cannot repeat enough how much things we allow to continue. And you see, the problem is if we continue playing into the hands of the wicked, we would have the same outcome. So
do not be yoked with unbelievers. I say it yet again. Shake the dust off your feet and keep it moving. If you're not welcome in the land, shake the dust off your feet and keep it moving.
Frank White said he spoke about the NIS raised from age 60 to 65.
That is a must.
Increase.
That is a must.
How you feel about that, Melvin? Just elaborate a bit.
I've been as a union representative. I've been in several workshops on that. Grenada and Dominica is the only place in the Caribbean still the retirement age and pension is up to 60. Where labor is concerned, we don't have much unionized worker. And between me and you, COVID gets rid of the trade union. I mentioned that and I said it openly. Some of my colleagues might be vexing me. But the trade union movement, this is it. The industrialized age from the 1800, the 1900, it's finished now. Because everything has moved online. Look what we're doing. You call the simple union meeting, and you can't get members to come out to the meeting. So how could you get members to come on a Zoom or electronically to gather and seek information on protection? So a lot of companies right now are closing down. A lot of companies are using the opportunity now to get rid of workers and all the things. Retrenchment. Digicel say they're bankrupt. They're calling receivership. Hilton Hotel in Trinidad called receivership, and they're going to rehire the workers. So therefore, how NIS is going to make money when you don't have a permanent job? Because long shop permanent, by law, you have to pay NIS. But if you're a man hustling on the street, you think you're going in NIS to pay?
You see, the thing too, I think NIS need to be properly investigated.
It cannot, because the government that running it.
No. It could, but they would not. It could happen, and it should. Take for instance, when we had the meeting last year about NIS and them having no funding and so on. Now, what was decided was not what we wanted. Although we asked for additional time, the laws were still changed by the persons in authority without proper investigations being done. Now, we also have to look at all the people that pay these NIS dues, right? At the end of every month, coming off of the paychecks, we have so many people paying. When we look at the people that die before even reaching the retirement age or before qualifying, I believe, Melvin, how much payments you had to make? 500 or 550? I can't remember at this point in time, right? How much? 500 contributions?
Yeah.
Right. So what about the people that made 400 contributions and then they pass away? Right? What about the people that make 350 contributions, but then they migrated to a different country?
No, the money's still here. They have to claim it. I went inside of there, okay, to see my contribution. And I overpaid. And
Mhm.
up to now, COVID, I haven't been working for about 3 years now. I've been working, okay. I was trying to build my business, build my school. And NIS can't call me and tell me nothing now. And what I understand now, there is nothing in place. NIS was never designed to give out like a COVID situation. NIS didn't prepare. Ever is prepared for pensioners and people that retire. This is what the money is there for.
Now,
So this $10,000, what them guys are talking about it now. They say the only stuff that could happen legally, it must go through the parliament. Now I is hearing that the prime minister is saying that NIS have 10,000 and they only giving each person $330. Regardless, you pay 100 and I pay 500 NIS a month, I only getting $330 a month. And that is, I, that's why I ask the question, who these guys really, who they represented? Because NIS board, two union rep, I think the business sector have a person there. Somebody in the labor workers association, something that has somebody there. Then the government might have three that make up the board or whoever it is. And these are the people making decision. Oh,
yeah.
if you working and you don't pay NIS, the police could arrest you.
Mhm.
So how come these guys could go and just take your NIS money and lend it and give it and do whatever they want with it without giving you that right? Because this is what's going on. This is what happened inside of there. They have taken away your rights, but it's
I
somehow
want,
you to pay NIS. And then because Clico, them lent $10 million to Clico. No, 28 million to Clico and 10 million to British America. British America had an issue with it. They had us a full up. The same thing with Clico. What NIS do? The board, they write it off, the books. And every other areas that people say it have to come off the books. Why NNS didn't buy shares into Clico or take on a Clico building? They just wipe it off. A lot of these men and them millionaires going into NN and borrowing money. Okay? Now we have a crisis now. They are saying where they getting the funds now to pay. Now that $10 million are coming out of there. How it going back? Because you keep on taking out, you keep on borrowing, and you keep on writing it off.
mhm.
And people taking this thing, it might reach a stage when me and you reach 60 years, they might say this is money for you, or me, or even Colin. Because the bigger fish keep on going inside and taking, and the bad spend it, and then they just write it off the book.
I'm looking for some information. I want to pass it on to Kurlan, so Kurlan could look into it um, as an investigative journalist. Kurlan, I received some information yesterday or day before from a source, and it spoke to, I believe it was in 2002. Oh, yeah, right. So it's here. So the person is saying that by
Man,
just using simple Google, right? Google. In 2002, there was a report and there was a section about unemployment benefits, right? And that was from the NIS. So now we are being told that it was never created and implemented for unemployment benefits. But the person is saying that in 2002, there was
Discuss
with unemployment benefits.
it. So how come my man could go in and take out 10 million now and say he and this and that if that is illegal?
Mhm. So, Colin, you think you might be able to look into that for us? You're on mute. Good.
Send information.
All right, I'll send you the information on Facebook.
Okay. So you see,
Yes.
you see what this guy put up there?
Gentlemen, we have to bring this to close. It's 3 hours and 40 minutes.
Okay,
You know,
okay.
way too long.
Ingram now it's 5 o'clock in the morning by you.
4:15.
Wow, Ingram, you're up late, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder why that is. No, it's been a blast. I've really enjoyed it. Thanks again also to Master Melvin Coutain, Earl Maitland, and Cullen
Campbell.
Campbell.
Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate you. Do share the video, like it, subscribe to the channel, and those who are watching tonight, please share, like, subscribe, and leave your comments. What do you think? What is the way forward after police brutality, after police brutality, after police brutality? Do we keep doing the same old things? Do we keep on asking for forgiveness or asking for justice? What do we do? What's the way forward? What do you think we should do? Do you think I'm too harsh? Do you think I'm too militant? It's up to you. Let's hear what you've got to say. And we look forward to hearing what you've got to say. Again, Grenada matters. Thank you all so much. We're out.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, blessed.